All right, we're live. This is the Stunthangar Hangout show. This is Monday, August the 20th, 2018. I'm Rusty, and I'll be your host for the next couple of hours. And the links are in the usual places in the At the Bench thread for those who are logged into Stunthangar as members. And if you are subscribed to Sparky's Stunthangar YouTube channel, then the notification should pop up there. Looks like everything's working because we've got 2 viewers showing already. And so, welcome everybody. Hope we all get a good crowd for Monday night. And tell me what you did this weekend for fun. Think we got a couple of contests going. We had Paducah going on, so maybe Mike will come in and tell us how he did at Paducah. And I think I know a couple of other people. Usually some guys from the Carolina gang go up there, and that's Charlie Reeves' territory. And can't remember what the name of that club is, but they always have a good contest. Just stunt, don't have combat or carrier, anything like that. Just PA, all the different varieties. And Ron Hass just popped into YouTube. Hi, Ron. Welcome. I hope you'll come in live with us if you feel like it tonight. Otherwise, feel free to chat with us on the YouTube side. And we've got 5 viewers online now. And when somebody comes in live with me, we'll begin our conversations. And usually takes us a half hour, 45 minutes for people to arrive and for us to get in our groove and start talking about some interesting topics. Everything is open as far as things you do with tools in your shop, in the field, at the lake, or wherever you like to do it. Planes, trains, and automobiles, anything except for politics and social political commentary is allowed. Anything but those things are allowed. And Jackson Avley, welcome. So we got Jack and Ron coming in live on, rather coming in on the YouTube side. So I'll just sit here and jabber until we get some live viewers, and hope we get a good turnout tonight. Take long. Flying control line. Charles Carter's with us. How you doing, Charles?
Hey, I'm doing well. Let me get my room, get that glare out of the way. But
there you go, your adjustments. There you go. Control line. Got bright California sun coming in the window behind you.
Hey, I'm back.
It's my turn, and she turns off the computer.
Okay,
She's up and down.
Lock my door.
Does she lose electronics?
Lock my door.
Does she lose electronics?
Lock my door. I'm on the call now, okay? So no more. Deal with mom. Ask mom to interfere. All right. This is my life.
How's the family, Charles?
Oh, it's good. It's very good. Just with 2 girls, there's always gonna be drama, you know.
Oh yeah. I am kind of thankful, maybe wrongly so, but kind of thankful that all I have is a boy. And I think they might be easier to raise for a father. I don't know about a mother, but for a father, I think boys are probably a little bit easier to raise because we probably understand them a little bit more. And
yeah, I think so.
Here comes Jamie. Hey, Jamie, how you doing tonight?
Oh, I could be better.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that you're not all that great, but could be worse.
It is. Just did this an hour ago.
How'd you get that rip in your mouth?
Oh, man.
Oh, look closer.
Yeah, see the fuselage.
Oh, it's more than a rip.
Let's see.
Hey, let me guess. Was you doing a vertical 8?
No, I was doing my outside squares and both my lines snapped.
Your lines snapped. Ow.
Yeah, and not at the wrap because let's see here if I can get this entangled because it's still. Let's see. It was actually a few feet away. There's one break.
Oh man.
And there's another break.
Oh man, I've never had that happen to me.
Are they both about the same length away from the handle?
No, one's about. Let me see. If I can hold it up and see. One's about maybe 2-3 foot from the other.
Hmm.
The
any kinks when you were rolling them out and anything like that?
oh, I mean, they're my old set of lines. That's my diagnosis for rule number 1 before launching. Make sure no kinks in the lines.
Yeah. Yeah, I usually.
Make me feel better.
I hope so. Yeah, I know that makes you feel bad, but yeah, when I'm setting up, I usually hold one line between my thumb and forefinger in each hand and feel them as I walk out. And at the same time, I'm getting the tangles out so I can spin the handle, straighten them out when I get down to the handle end. But so I guess you just must have had some kinks and missed them. How bad is it? How bad's the plane? It looked like I saw some. Did I see it?
I'm actually about to take the motor off now and the tank and just to see the wing looks good. The wing looks solid. I think them in between the spars helped save that because it was bad. I flew it the first. I did a first flight. I did it with a spinner I got and it flew terrible. So I figured, it was the added some nose weight. It was like an hour and a half spinner. So after it landed, I didn't even finish the whole pattern. Like I ran out of fuel. So after that flight, and took the spinner off, refueled it, launched it at the same old RPM I always do. Always try to shoot for 95, between 95 and 9,700 with a 46 LA. Good. I mean, it wasn't like screaming around. It was good. It felt all right. And I was doing my outside corners. Did the first one. And from outside squares, I'm sorry. And so I did the first one, was going down. And when I hit the second one, as soon as it whipped around, I heard pop. It went in inverted.
So your upline broke and you were pulled on your your downline broke and you were pulling on your upline inverted and it just popped the ground right there, huh?
Oh, it popped in the air. They both popped in the air.
Wow. Well, at least she wasn't too high off the ground. Because your bomb, is 4 or 5 feet, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're I'm decent with it,
Very good. So, yeah, it's probably going to be a pretty good plane to fix because it wasn't from too far of a height. Unlike, when I crashed the plane at the intersection of the overhead 8, I mean, that's a terrible place for it to go down from,
Oh, yeah. I think what sucks the absolute most about it is that over the weekend I found out that I could make the Dallas contest in 2 weeks. After my little girl's birthday party that morning, I was gonna around 4 or 5 jump on the interstate and 5 head north and fly to Sunday morning for PA. And so I figured, well, I need to get some practice. I'm gonna try to fly every afternoon, at least get 2 flights in.
Yeah, I know, man. As I'm practicing in preparation for the Golden State, I'm only counting on my one plane, and I'm trying to practice, but I'm also trying to avoid a disaster, because if I have disaster, then it's pretty much over,
Yeah, Ron Hask comments is glad it wasn't a flyaway.
Yeah, that's true too.
I say if it would have snapped on that last corner, that would have just been, I don't know, because it's nothing but fields. I mean, bean fields, rice fields, all over. I was flying out of ballpark. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. They had a few people out there, but I mean, they're out, you know, way out of harm's way. The vehicles may have not have been, but
Were those .015 lines?
yeah,
That's what I use.
I mean, 38-ounce plane.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's right, and it's wheelhouse. Well, that sucks. I have never heard of two lines breaking at the same time.
Yeah, neither have I. But it happens, obviously.
Obviously, if it hasn't before, it is now.
But
You
I
know
mean, with the stupid part, and I blame myself.
Oh yeah,
because I have practically a brand new set of lines.
Yeah,
brand new set of Tom Moore's lines that I used for the first flight when we trimmed it in fluids. I only got like 5-6 flights on them, and I should have used those. And these are the old lines I would use on my Ringmaster. So I mean, these things old. People done walked on them and all kind of stuff. And I should have known better. I was just like, yeah, you know, it'd be all right. I'm only doing a couple of flights. Yeah.
Yeah. I know it's it really is tough. You know, but these are lessons. They stay with you and it makes you a better pilot, Jamie. I mean, you're gonna realize, you know, you'll never ever repeat this mistake again, and it's painful. But these things are part of our maturation to expert.
Good evening, Gerald.
Hi, I'm Rusty. Hello, Sparky, and not hello, Sparky there yet. Hello, Jamie and Charles.
Hey, Gerald.
We appreciate your contribution. Thanks very much.
Good.
And Jamie, is that chrome monocoat on your wingtip?
Yep.
I like that.
Cool.
I've gotten, I bought some for my Cardinal, but that's the first time I've ever actually seen it on a plane. That's nice and bright. I like it.
That's cool.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna do it on both tips, but the last thing I thought about, I'm like, man, if I'm going up, like, if I'm for whatever, and the sun's at my back, all I'm gonna see is like a little gleaming thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Very smart, man. I'm glad you thought about that.
I got red on one tip and blue on the other tip.
Well, I tell you what, I know I built a good, strong plane. The rudder didn't break off.
Yeah, you sure did.
Makes me sick as that, man. I think I did good on the finish. And the fillets, I was so proud of these fillets. You know?
Are they cracked up now?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You might have to inject some
Still got
glue inside in case your spars and center sheeting are broken where you can't see it.
I want to make sure the tank is solid too. Shake it, make sure nothing's loose.
The push rod and the actually with the push rod and the rod from the bell crank. And then it's another thing that's bad, you know. This is easily fixable, and it can be flying in no time. Is that the coupler I use on the push rods is RSM's stainless coupler?
Yeah.
It bent the rod, the threaded rod part. It's like bent at 45.
Wow. Well, that was a good impact.
Yeah. I mean, I got planes that I could fly over there. I got that primary force, but man, it's so terrible. I'm not gonna say the primary force is terrible. I'm gonna say my primary force is terrible. And triangle, this thing was like night and day with that plane. You know.
You can get back there again. I think you know that probably that bent coupling is the worst part. So if you can get something locally, some threaded rod or whatever it takes to fix that with a new piece and get everything glued back together, hopefully you'll have that in the air in plenty of time. get some practice still.
I mean,
Time for practice flight.
maybe we would have bend it back, you know, because the coupler is JB welded on. It's carbon fiber push rod and it's JB welded on it. But I don't know how to break JB weld free, you know.
Heat it with the
Because
heat
I have
gun.
another coupler I can put on
Yeah,
it.
soldering iron or a heat gun.
Yep.
Just don't.
You will soften with enough heat. So yeah, soldering iron, you can focus the heat just where you want it. It's a good idea, Rusty.
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, I've also used that Jasco paint epoxy remover. It kind of softens up epoxy, where you can actually remove it.
Yeah,
It makes it almost like a gelatin, and it of course
that might lead.
it's epoxy and metal. So that's the only difference, is that there's actually metal in that JB weld versus a straight epoxy.
Then you know, you might have to get a tap and chase out the female threaded end, so you know, you can screw everything back together. I'm not sure what it is. I'd have to look at it and see, but I'm just guessing.
I mean, like the hinges on the outboard wing came loose. That's it. All the other ones are good.
Not too bad.
Are those pin hinges?
Yep.
Well, I missed the start of it. Were you doing the overhead or something when the line broke? I missed it. I heard the line broke.
Outside square. The inverted corner.
Were they on lines, or did it go by the connector, or did it just snap mid-line?
Snapped at some kinks.
Yeah.
That's not a cool sound to hear either.
Otto had a line break on the model he was flying, a 35 combat model, and he was doing the wing over. And when he went to give up, the one of the lines broke on the wing over, and it went flying off across the circle, and then started doing all these little loops, and then back into the ground. But he was lucky; it got away with it.
Yeah, you see that?
Oh yeah, wow.
I mean, bend that, man. That's stainless. That's not easy to bend. At least you don't want to impact. I mean, you could bend it with hand, but
Yeah, that's quite an impact. You know, Jamie, you said something earlier about primary force, and I feel the same way. You know, I said something disparaging about my Oriental, and maybe I want to correct that my Oriental does not fly as good as my Strega. I think last week, the week before, I said disparaging things about the Oriental, and so, like you said, your primary force is not very good, and I want to say my Oriental is not very good.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the way it was built. It was built. It had the trailing edge was warped, and you know they had to put.
My Oriental.
Oh, we got
Yeah.
Kevin Muckleroy joining, and T-Bone Tom just they got an engine for my Super Satan built. They're just looking for a Randy needle valve for it. So
Got a problem there. There we go. Good morning.
Hey, good afternoon.
Hey, Kevin.
The video is all confused for a minute there.
Hey, you
What's
guys,
up?
I'm going to sign off for a while and come right back because my internet is bad. So I'm going to see if I can power cycle my router and stuff and get a better connection. So I'll be back.
Horrible.
All right.
Good stuff.
I don't know if y'all could hear what I was saying while Kevin was signing in, but Tom Luciano just posted on the YouTube side that engine for my Super Satan is built. The only thing left is they're looking for a Randy needle for the Fox engine, and so they'll test it out this Sunday and shoot it on down here, and I can bolt her up.
Excellent. That's great. Good news. You'll trust. I imagine it'll be a quick machine.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. I was talking to Mike
Ready to
Weinfeld.
fly.
What'd you say, Jamie?
It's done. It's ready to fly.
That was a quick fix. I think you probably want to hook that rod back up. You got your little dangler there.
Yeah.
There's no cracks in the flaps or anything.
Flaps seem good.
Just
I mean, okay, other than the hinges being loose a little bit on the outboard.
You can probably get some CA down in those hinge slots. Yeah, hey, T-Bone, thanks for you and Al for getting that engine together for me. I was just talking to Mike Lonke about that plane. He called me while he was driving towards Paducah to do that contest, which he won, advanced with a 504, I think he scored. And so we were talking about it. He was recommended I use 0.018 lines, which I had a couple of spools I gave him to Wayne Robinson, but he hadn't used them. So I'll get those back from him this weekend because we got a meeting up at Triple Tree, and I'll tell him to bring those up there for me. So I'll make up a handle. And I wonder about, the only other question I got is the line spacing on the handle to see how much y'all recommend for a 60-foot set, or Mike even said a 62-foot set maybe for first flights. So we'll see what the opinions on the handle spacing is for that. I'll probably use one of my Tom Morris cable handles.
Oh, so your brass coupler is broken in the landing gear, Jamie. The little brass coupler that goes on your landing gear is broken as well. Change that out. Your gear will be all good again.
That thing snapped in half.
It's a little tube.
There's half of it.
Yep. Yeah, that's what they made it designed. I think they designed it so it would break there, so it's easy to repair. I know it makes it easy to install too. Yeah, I was trying to bend my landing gear forward one time and I snapped that little brass tube too.
Ooh, this makes me mad, bro.
Get over that and just go to work on it. And sometimes they fly better than they did before when you do this.
I was out of a model I built other than this one.
My one broke on the weekend too. My twister. This is my twister, but it's done up.
I was about to say, what did you see on this thing that I can't? You finding everything broke on mine.
Yeah, my one broke for a really silly reason. It's basically just a big twister with wingtips added. But what happened was my one didn't get off the ground with me at the handle. Otto let go when I was about a quarter of the way walking to the handle, and it shot off. I just saw it going up at this angle, and I reached out, grabbed the lines, which everybody said I shouldn't have done, but I didn't want it to fly away. And I've got a sore hand now. And then it just proceeded to do a very tight loop into the ground and rip the tail off and rudder off. And the tank was full, so it ripped the tank out, all the metal mount, because it was a full tank of fuel, and the inertia was obviously quite a lot. So that's the only thing I've got to do now is change the tank mount. But that was frustrating. It was totally avoidable. Yeah.
Did the lines draw any blood when you grabbed a hold of them?
Sort of. I've got a little cut in one hand, but it was the model was moving slowly when I grabbed them. But I thought if it built up speed, it would have been a big issue. But it was just climbing out. I saw it climbing out, and I realised I was miles from the handle. But all I could do is grab the lines. And people said, you shouldn't have grabbed the lines, but then it would have been free flight. It would have been off. So, yeah, it was scary.
What happened? Did the stooge just let go of it or something?
I let it go.
Oh. The stooge let go of it, huh?
Yeah. So I don't know why he let go. Everybody was sort of questioning him, but he can't tell us. Maybe I tripped over the lines, but I can't really remember doing that.
When I was first launching big planes, I'd been used to half A, and they don't pull very hard. And when I first started launching 35 and 40 size planes, sometimes those engines will cough. And when they cough, they'll jerk on you. you know, and so it could have, he had greasy fingers or something, and it just coughed and surged and took it away.
When I was little, my dad had, and he still has it, a Profile Smooth 35 on it. And whenever we would go flying, you're like, okay, drop the knife on the foot. I mean, I was probably that motor scared the shit out of me. Yeah, I'm used to like, you know, like the little 049s, like, man, come on, Pop, let's go. This thing, I'm like, hurry up, please wave it off. Come on, let's go. You know, I was ready to let go of it. It was scaring the hell out of me.
What you been doing, Kevin?
Just trying to get all the damage in my apartment fixed this last month. Kind of put everything on the side. Started getting the tail done on the All-American. Finally getting back to work on it. Water drain pipes, water main pipes, air conditioners, all kinds of things went out this month.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we got a fun fly this Saturday, so I'm looking forward to going out to that.
This coming Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going out to Triple Tree for our club meeting this Saturday, and we've invited a couple of extra people. I think Bob Zambelli's going to come out. He doesn't usually come to the club meetings, and a couple of our other pilot friends are going to show up. So I think we're going to have a pretty good crowd.
What sort of motor are you using on the All-American, Kevin?
I guess right.
What'd you say, Gerald?
I was asking Kevin, what motor did he use on the All-American?
Oh, you don't want to know. It's an RSM electric 40.
Okay.
So, on 3-cell. I bought like 6 3-cell batteries, and I need to find a use for them. You know?
For those of us who don't know anything about electrics, when you buy an electric motor for a plane, does it give an equivalent, what equivalent it is for an IC engine, like equivalent of a Max 40 or anything like that on it, just to help?
Yeah, RSM, he rates his like that. Like his most universal package is a 3540. I can't remember the motor count or winding counts or whatever, but I like it because you can run 3-cell or 4-cell on it. So if your 3-cell ain't enough, you can just poop it up with a 4-cell.
Yeah.
But some of the systems you can't run the larger battery on, and then I have like my Brodac system on my P40, and I ran the motor they recommended on it from Brodac. I made a mistake and put a 12-inch prop on it, and I fried it in the second flight. Too much prop for that motor. But I should have listened and not tried to be my own judge on that shit. So, but it's all right. So I put an RSM motor in it this time. Yeah, I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, well, that's the way it's going. When you look at how difficult it is to get things like nitro now, and for people using electric, it's nice to know that you've got confidence to tackle it and convert your models. But I've still got that Vector 40. I wanted to do electric, and I can see it'll be the best way to practice my pattern. Will be to have an electric model I can fly at home at my own convenience. Because when I get out to the field, I'm often helping other people, and I'm lucky to get in a couple of flights of my own. But I suppose you always get that when there's a large group of modelers flying.
I'll tell you that Brodac electric P40, I mean, if you get in and change the controls on it, it makes a great electric plane for just grabbing and going. It's a great flying plane. The electrics line up really easy and nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to have a setup like that. Just one for a pick up and go without a lot of preparation and post-flight cleaning and all that, and to be able to fly it anywhere I wanted to without noise problems.
Now, the only problem is, you get a $60 battery and it's good for one flight. that's, you know, that's where things get kind of a bummer. And if you recharge them correctly, it's going to take you over an hour to recharge it. So, you know, that gets kind of expensive considering the price of fuel, you know, flip and fly. But I don't fly that much anymore anyway, so it works out good for me. I got into the electrics with my electric RC car stuff, so. And I went out and I bought a whole bunch of friggin' IC motors, and I don't know what to do with them. They look good sitting on the shelf, I guess.
It's nice to me. I still like flying electric, and I like flying glow as well. But when you're training people, glows are ideal because you can have one flight after another and smack it in the ground and not worry about frying a battery pack or flying a speed controller or motor. So for training, if you're competent, you can fly well, then electric's not an issue. But I think for somebody training, going in the ground all the time, electric wouldn't be a good option.
Nah,
Sharp, bring out bits.
If you got more ICs than you need, maybe I'll keep that in mind if I decide I need a new engine for one of my ships.
6 Fox 35s, 4 LA 46s, 2 FP 40s, got an OS 35 Stunt. I'm not getting rid of my Super Tigers. I'm hanging on to those.
Yeah, out of that list you just said, my favorites would be the OS 35, the LA 46, and the FP 40. Those are all engines I'm familiar with and I like working with.
The OS 35 Stunt's an older version, doesn't have muffler mounts.
Oh, really? Is it a Max S?
Yeah.
Oh, those are sweet. They don't have as much horsepower as the FPs, but they sure do a pretty 4.2 brake.
Yeah, they're a nice motor.
I've got one of them on my shoestring, and I love the way that engine runs.
Y'all know anybody that's looking for some Max S30s?
Nah, I don't have any use for anything like that.
Yeah, the 30 is more of a racing motor that it's got different timing to the 35, and they're actually a 29, so they used to use them for team racing. They're popular for that. But yeah, Alina's got one on a Skyray, and it actually works well, but it likes to rev. The thing screams its guts out on the Skyray, and that's how it likes. It doesn't want a big prop. You don't want to put a 10.6 on the OS 30. You just want to let it rev with a 9.6.
Yeah,
I found a package deal last week with 3 of these Max S30s. 2 of them are RC.
Yeah.
And one don't say nothing RC or whatever. It's just says 30, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one actually says RC under the 30.
Yeah.
And I have no use for these. I mainly got them because along with these, I got a bag full of 049s, some golden bees, baby bees, stuff like that, and also 2 TD-051s.
Oh man, that's nice. I love my TD-051. They're not really any different from the 049, but that's what I got on one of my baby flight streaks.
I mean, I just need to get new card bodies because this one didn't come with one. But the piston isn't like the other one. Has the little ring that you can see in the port.
That's how you know it's an 051.
And it's on 049.
049 has no ring, and 051 always has a ring.
Yeah, so this one's probably the 049. Don't have no card bodies, broke.
Yeah.
But that ain't nothing, and it has a Venturi.
Yeah, Cox International has them. They're very cheap. The nylon mount.
Hey, Tom Luciano.
But I mean,
on video. How you doing tonight, Tom?
Good. How are you? Hi, Gerald.
I'm good.
Kevin, how you doing?
hey, Tom.
Hey, thank you guys for putting an engine together for me. I'm looking forward to that.
Yep, I have it right here. Show it to you.
Let me click on
Can
you.
I see? Can you see that?
Yep.
Got it. Yeah. Wow. That's pretty.
Sounds great. But we need a needle valve.
It's got a nice pop to it.
Smith Fox 35. We use the Fox 35 needle in this, and it works really well with the pacifiers. So
Okay.
we got to locate one. Maybe Al has one. I'll talk to him. But I'm out. I'm actually out of old Fox 36X needle valves as well. So that's going to be a tough one. I'll put one in for Sunday, and then we'll find something for it. Because we want the smallest diameter needle valve assembly we can put in here.
Yeah.
Get more air in there, get more fuel in it, make it run. Okay. So you had a question about the handle. Let me grab. I'll show you my handle I'm using.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. I mean, look at that. It bent the
Oh,
crap.
well,
All
okay.
right.
I can probably fit 3 fingers in that.
That's an old hot rock.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a 4-inch spacing. So if you want to use your stun handle and then choke it down to 4 inches,
Yeah.
that's the handle.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. I was wondering because I know some of the combat guys have really small spacing that where actually the lines come out between a couple of their fingers. You know, they can't. You know, they come out between 2 fingers, like between there and there. But I'll tame it down the best I can. And
this is actually a great fit for my hand, but my hand is very small. So that's what most guys back in the day used, and we try to stay with what was used. They came over with like 2 dozen of them. You know, they're all worn out, but I have a couple good ones left.
I was talking to Mike Lonke about it the other day, and he suggested I use 018 wire instead of. I was planning on going to get spider wire or something like that, but he said he doesn't use spider wire on the fast combat planes. He always puts steel on them. Do you think 018s for that plane?
The plane was designed for 015s.
Yeah.
And there's actually a little discussion on the forum about that. Like some guys were saying that we're flirting with safety issues by flying 015. That plane weighs 20 ounces. Even if it's doing 120 miles an hour, you're nowhere near stressing those lines.
Yeah.
They went to 018s in like 72 because of the flyaways, because of lines crossing and cutting each other.
Yeah.
And prop strikes and stuff like that. They didn't go to 018s because the planes were pulling too hard and snapping the lines.
I see. Okay.
So that's what we run. You can run the 018s on it. It'll affect the performance quite a bit.
Yeah.
We haven't had an issue. I was like, Amy, were you using a 19 strand or the 7 strand Tom Morris lines that broke tonight?
7 strand.
7 strands? Oh, yeah, okay. You probably had I had heard some things about the 19 strands that.
I've heard that too. They're more fragile, I think.
Yeah, that's why I went with the 7s. One too many bads is pretty much.
Yeah.
Like
I got all different sizes of.
Saying something,
I've got all different sizes of 7-strand 15s. I've got everything from 57 to 62-foot spools. So I'll probably start with a 60 or a 62 on that Satan.
That's fine. I mean, we're running 58.5 because then that puts us right at 60 feet.
Yeah.
The center of fuselage or the center of the motor.
Yeah.
So that's what we run. Just because we're always timing, we're always seeing what we're
right. Yeah.
So.
I'm just interested in keeping it in the air for the first couple of flights.
Yeah. No, it's pretty quick. It's fun.
If I'm not able to turn circles, I'll probably, after Mike flies it, I'll probably take it and just put it up and fly in front of me.
Yeah.
Like that. Because as long as I don't let it get behind me, I'll be all right.
Yeah, you're used to it. If you're used to that half-A Gladiator, that's, you'll be fine. It turns good for a plane that was designed in 1966.
No kidding. Yeah, everybody my friends over on Cox Engines Forum are thrilled with it. I got the cooks are over there and Mike
great. The Big Easy, I call I call Sean the Big Easy because he just makes it look so easy when he's flying.
Well, he's got the reflexes of a
Yeah.
cat.
Yep. No, but we're excited to get this down to you. I'm excited for you. I feel good about it. I'm glad I sent the plane to the right man.
Yeah, thanks, man. I feel awful that I'm so gimpy that I worry about physically being able to handle it, because I know I could handle it if I was in good shape. I'm just not scared of it at all. But I'm just scared of whether or not I can keep up with it in the shape I'm in right now. But
That's
I
understandable.
might fly it, and we'll see. I'll make a game day call on it. I do not want to crack it up.
Yeah, it's been in the ground before.
I know, but let's just say I don't want to crack it up on the first flight.
Yeah,
If I can run a tank of gas out of it, I'll have my confidence up, so. But we'll do video on it one way or the other. It's going to Huntersville.
Yeah, who knows? I may be there. I may be there to witness it. It would be great.
That'll be cool.
Yeah,
I'd love it if you'd come down there.
I'm putting in. If I can take the weekend off, I'll shoot down on a Friday. It's about a 9-hour drive for me.
Wow. Okay, that's a pretty long way.
Yeah.
But I guess that's where those Philly guys drive about that same distance. So
I'm actually closer to the Philly guys than I am the Circle Burner guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Circle Burner is like an hour from me, and Philly is about 50 minutes. Well, I mean, I'm really closer to those guys, but I fly Middlesex most of the time, and that's only 20 minutes.
Charles is back. Hey, you look like you got a better picture now, Charles. What'd you do? You work on your bandwidth or something?
Yeah, I actually power cycled the whole thing. So I shut everything down, had everybody in the house, which no one was happy about, but I shut everybody down, turned everything off, and brought it back up.
Yeah, that's right. I'm the only one on the Wi-Fi here on the router, and I forget some of y'all are competing with other members of the household for bandwidth.
Yeah, I gotta make the unpopular things sometimes happen.
Oh, Mike Lanke's over here posting. He says, "Are you going to fly speed limit?" Oh, Mike's asking you, "Are you going to fly speed limit if you come down, Tom?"
I've only flown combat one time, and it was more or less follow leader with Roy Glenn. And out. I may enter the Middlesex contest in September. I might try. I just don't want to, go through anybody. I want to make sure I can handle myself out there.
Well, from what I've seen, you won't be the only one that flies through somebody before it's all over.
I do have one speed limit plane ready to go. I would need a second one at least. But if I do go down, I'm planning on going down there and having some fun. That's for sure.
Good.
So, do something. I'll bring some of the fast stuff with me too. So hack around.
Yeah, Huntersville's always a big fun contest. Do you ever fly a Navy carrier? Have you ever tried that?
I did as a kid. That was my father's big. He was a combat Navy carrier guy. So just a profile plane of his still hanging up in the shop here. But I did that when I was young. I haven't done it in 25, 30 years. But.
Well, speaking about Mike, he went to Paducah yesterday and won advanced PA with a 504, something like that.
Oh, very good, Mike. High five again.
Yeah, I think Mike's going to be moving up to expert real quick.
Well, he's going to have to beat a few more people. I think there were only 4 people, but still a 504 is not too bad for intermediate. I mean, for advanced. Good, getting started anyway. It's only his second contest, I think. Brodak. Maybe he's had.
I think it was his Brodak P40 too. I think that he didn't have any appearance points. That's a legitimate 500 score.
Yeah.
It'll be on soon.
That's pretty good.
The kids to be, he'll be on soon.
Yeah, 500 is kind of like an earmark of a good pilot.
Yeah. Yeah, those combat guys that transfer over to stunt have an advantage on us because they're never scared of the ground, and they got reflexes that are just fine-tuned you know, and so they're quick on the handle.
Yeah, and a lot of the combat guys have done really well in stunt. You know, like Phil Granderson, Howard Rush, just to name a few.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, and Gordon Delaney. I think Gordon Delaney is a combat guy too.
Yep.
Hi, Sparky.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Oh, hey, Sparky.
Kind of late for me, but I went to sleep after work, and so my sleeping has been done.
Well, yeah, okay. So you coming in fully recharged?
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to force myself to go back to sleep.
Let's see, what have I got? I got a bunch of retracted messages here, but they all appear to be from Mike Linsky.
Oh, the video will be on.
They're just piling in. I'm just going to wait and see what happens. They're being held for review and now retracted. That's odd.
Well, you should be putting the kids to bed. I'll be on soon. Big news. Rusty, and that's all from that Rocky. And he, Tom Cruise, come on.
I don't know. We'll see what that's all about. I don't think it's anything. It's not like spam or anything. It's all coming from Mike.
No, if it doesn't. I was going to say, with the Fox 36, could you not use the remote needle like I've got on that Fox? 'Cause it makes it easy if you can use the remote needle.
Yeah, that's like a RC needle valve. Is that what it was originally? Has it got a finer thread than the control line needle valve?
Some of them do. Some of them are quite good. It depends on what brand of RC engine that you use and what it came out of originally. Some of the big RC engines have got quite a nice fine thread and O-ring on the radar.
With the half A's, I've always used 128 thread per inch needle valves, and when I wanted to put a OS 40 on a bladder, which I never did, but Ken Cook was telling me to use an OS RC needle valve, which was a OS number 2 or OS number 1. I can't remember which one now.
Yeah, they all use the OS 1A.
1A, that's it, 1A. And I think I searched for them and they were all out of stock last time I looked.
I can't remember where to find the messages.
Which messages? The internal video message chat box?
I'm trying to find out why Mike Lunky's messages were retracted.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it came through to me, okay.
On the 3 dots and see what happens. Yeah, it doesn't say. I don't know what that was all about. Anyway, he's going to be signing in with us as soon as he gets the kid put in bed. So maybe he can shine some light on the subject. Well, I got on the private chat yesterday with
I saw it.
Hunt, and we worked on his microphone volume, and he was going to go see if he could buy a new one. So he might not have gotten one set up yet. His computer, his computer genius son was going to come over and help him out. So they might not have gotten that fixed yet. We couldn't do anything to get it to turn up louder, though. We tried all kind of stuff.
He was just here at like 8:30, so he looked pretty beat. He came out flying with us tonight.
He'll probably lay off the show tonight, but hopefully he'll get his audio straightened out.
Well, if he's going to buy a good microphone, he should buy a Blue Yeti.
Okay.
For about $100.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it better be good.
Yeah. How about those blue cubes? Are those any good?
Same thing. It's the same microphone.
Okay. I've seen those for like $69. Or blue ice, I mean. Oh, blue ice.
Well, I got some wing damage too.
It's got
Let me
some
see.
cracked ribs.
No, the ribs are solid. It's just in the center sheeting.
Uh,
Up now where the trailing edge meets.
Yeah.
At that angle, and it just comes down right there. Just a crack. If we get a little weight, you can't even see it. Before it goes right back in.
Yeah, hold it straight, NCA, and wick it all in there. Oh,
See, like when I tweak it, see,
Whoa.
I see it.
when
Yeah.
I turn it back, you can't.
fuselage.
Yeah, you're probably gonna have to put some fiberglass in there.
Or you could take some Gorilla Glue and smush it down in there with a little spatula, and then clamp it together until it hardens.
Is that the inboard wing or outboard wing, Jamie?
That's
The outboard.
outboard, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely would.
Crazy though. I don't understand
I
how
would
it folded in whenever it was above the ground.
I would fiberglass that.
I can't believe it didn't bust the rudder off.
That's what I'm saying.
It's because you made it smaller.
Exactly. If I would have made it stuck, I would have, plowed a trench to grow corn. I mean, that other than the fuselage wiggling, it's good. I mean, the doubler separated from the fuselage a little bit and it cracked down the middle right here. But like I said, the landing gear folded in, never touched the ground, man. That thing weird.
If you got any hypodermic syringes with the needles on them, or can you get some? That's good for getting CA deep down in the fuselage.
Well, it wouldn't be hard to get.
Yeah, whatever.
As long as you wear gloves, I'm okay.
Veterinary supply store.
Yeah, more or less.
Or
bow
your doctor can tell him what you need them for, and my doctor's written me a prescription for them before. It wasn't that long ago when you didn't need a prescription. I used to just go buy a whole box of them for $5. Get about 20 of them in a box for $5.
And you see, I could hold the fuselage down where it broke in the back, and I mean it'll do it. You wouldn't even see the crack, a seam there. And I know the way I should do it is with some biscuit joints. That'd be the smart thing to do. I don't want to tear up the finish on it.
We're doing weird weight, so you can do it with a minimum of weight gains the best way.
Just push it together, shoot some CA in it, hit it with kicker, and go flying. Because
that's what I say too.
See, that's the reason I keep coming back every week when I can. Is that attitude right there? Screw the police. Get it.
Yeah, it's time to say hell with the finish. I wear my scars like a badge, My cracks and glue patches, they're just badges of honor.
Yeah. I have an 8-pointer right here to like a 2. Yeah, it's gonna be flying by Saturday. Maybe if I can get that push rod thing figured.
My twister, I kept bouncing it off the ground. It took me all the way to advanced, and I just kept gluing it back together. Same thing.
Yeah, I love my twister.
They bounce.
Well, mine didn't bounce. Mine stuck.
Yeah,
stuck. I mean, just when in the picture you seen it upside down. When it hit, it didn't move. Just got more pissed that I broke the Thunder Tiger prop.
Oh,
hell, that's gold right there.
Yeah.
The fuselage. I could, just take that fuselage off. I ain't going through all that.
Hey, Sparky.
Yeah, Steve and Mike.
Yeah. Hey, can you look? Samantha can't get on because her old Hotmail doesn't work. She signed back up under Gmail, but it still won't let her in.
Oh, crap. I see there.
That'd be great if Samantha joins us, Steve. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, she said she was having problems, and so I don't know. I wasn't home, so I ran home because she was just going to get on herself tonight.
Hey, Mike, how you doing, man?
What's
Did
going
good
on,
up there in
man?
Paducah.
Okay, she's approved.
She's
All
approved.
right.
All right, I'll call her and let her see if she can get on now.
Congratulations, Mike.
Back.
You've got 9 people on, so I'll drop out. I'll drop out, so there's one more space. I'll say goodbye, and I might catch you later if somebody else.
We're not overloaded yet. It'll take 10, won't it? And it doesn't count me.
I gotta go. I gotta get to bed. So,
Well,
gotta get up at midnight. A few hours left.
So
y'all take care.
all right, Kevin. Thanks for dropping in.
Right.
See you, Kevin.
See you, Kevin.
Right.
So, Russ,
I forgot that my hot meal.
Yeah, Mike.
Over a long time ago.
I was trying to get your attention with those messages. I just typed a bunch of gibberish to get you to look over at the chat box
I did.
because I had
saw-
typed that I was putting the kids to bed and I would be on later.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, well, you didn't. It went 10 minutes before you looked over. So I just was typing all kinds of random shit in there
Okay.
to see if the chat box would get your attention.
Okay. It
That's
did.
all. And then I deleted it.
All right. Yeah, it got my attention. It worked.
Okay. Had a pretty good weekend at Paducah yesterday.
Yeah. Congratulations on another win.
Yeah, congratulations, Mike.
Freaked out by 1 point. I put up a 504 on my first flight.
So it's like a really safe website where you won't lose your information. Whatever.
Dave,
All right. I'll let you try to get on, hon. Call me back if you can't.
okay.
Love you too. Bye.
The other flight for the 460, 470, and I think a 490 or something. And then one guy rallied in the second round and put up a 503.
Yeah.
So I put up a 4 on my first flight. And all the judges and a couple of the expert guys came over to watch me fly, and they said, you need a better airplane. Because I was flying the Sakatumi,
Yeah, right.
the elevator only. And it wobbles a little bit. It's still not trimmed out good enough, but they have encouraged me to get a better airplane. And on that front, I've got a line on a SV-22. Actually,
Wow,
two.
that'd be nice.
I don't want to say too much about it right now because the deal is not closed. But it looks like I'm going to be able to broker a deal for 2 SV-22s that were built by a top stunt guy. And I'll let you know more once I actually got my hands on the airplane.
Oh, that's great.
And then I'll have to come up with an engine for them as well. They're both the PA-61s is what I need for them. Rear exhaust PA-61.
Is
So-
that about a 55, 60 ounce plane, something like that?
I have no idea what they weigh. I don't know. I haven't actually seen them yet. I've just seen pictures of them, and I'm in the middle of brokering the deal right now. It hasn't happened. That's why I don't want to.
Are they pipe or just?
Yeah, they're piped. They're piped 61s. Yeah.
Well, one thing is you can always get the K77s. You can get nothing else right now.
Well, I don't know if the mounting pattern is the same for the K77 and the PA, and I don't really want to change anything. I'm going to put what the airplane was built for.
I believe it is. It's all.
No.
No.
K77 has the same bolt pattern as a 75, PA-75, which is different than a 61.
Okay. Well,
Oh, I didn't know. I thought they were all the same. 61s through 75.
I'm not going to go cutting into the thing. I'll get my hands on a 61. That's
61. 61 is a small case, and 75 is the big case. They're not much difference, but there is a difference in the bolt pattern. Now the Super Tiger 60 and the 75 are exactly the same bolt pattern.
Well,
Okay.
talking about engines is kind of putting the cart before the horse right now because I don't even have the airplanes. But if I get them, which I'm really hoping, it should help me in my flying. I think should get me there. If I'm gonna do this, stunt thing, I'm gonna go ahead and invest in the proper equipment. You know.
Yep.
Yeah, you can talk to, you get the airplanes, you can talk to Randy and maybe get some
I already have.
Oh, okay. Does he have them, or
No,
are they going to do another run?
he doesn't. But I've got.
Another one will be in the 75 case.
Oh, that's right. They're going to be, the new ones are going to be the 75 case.
He does not have any, but I've got a line on some. So
You can also use a 65. 65 and 61 are the same cases. The 40, the big case 40, the 61, and the 65 are all the same case.
now, Sparky, what's the difference in the fuel consumption between a 61 and a 65?
Hey, she made it.
It's
All right.
Hey, Samantha, welcome to the show. Glad to
Took
have
me
you.
forever to figure out, so.
Are you on your phone?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Tom, Ken Cook just posted in your finally Super Satan thread over on Stunthangar.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I didn't have time to read the whole thing, but it sounds like he was talking about coming maybe to Huntersville or something. I don't know. We'll have to go back and check it later.
There you are.
Welcome.
Tell everybody about all the fun you had in France.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was crazy. I don't know if I'll ever go back, but it was fun. Like, I mean, the flying was nice and everything. It was a lot different, but like the driving there, like I won't ever drive. Like I'll have to have like a personal like taxi to get around or something because watching Dad drive, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I can't drive. Like
Yeah, I don't think I could adapt to driving on the wrong side of the car and the wrong side of the road very well.
It was on the right side of the road.
No, it's on the right side.
Oh, that's right. It is, isn't it? But still.
I tell you what, I'm a much better roundabout driver now.
There's no straight roads there. It's all like straight, roundabout, straight, roundabout, straight, roundabout. Like that's it. That's there. And then they also have their lights aren't like above. Like their stoplights aren't above. They're like right next to you, like to the right. So we like sped through like lights and we actually got tickets because they just kept going through lights.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what your dad was saying. Is you didn't even know the lights were there.
No, we would like, oh no, that was a light, and it's too late. It's just...
Well, there'd be a big one on the right side and this little teeny one on the left side. So if there was a truck blocking that light, you couldn't see the big one. And finally, I started looking for the little ones. And Samantha helped me.
Yeah.
Like, stop.
We had, when we were in Paris, that's when it was really bad. Because they have like a 15-lane roundabout with no line. And motorcyclists think that they have the right to like go in between two cars where they can like literally like any wrong moves and they're into your vehicle. It was like the stress. Like I can't believe Dad through that. I was stressed out just sitting there, but it was like stressful just there and like with all that. And we had so much problems getting around because after Dad drove the one time, he wasn't driving no more. So we had to get around by bus and get around by like walking. And oh my gosh, we like totally got lost in that train because we obviously don't speak the language. So we were just, we got back, but there was a nice McDonald's. Like it looks like a castle or something. Like it's so nice. And I remembered it. And we're on this train, and we passed our station. I'm like, that's the McDonald's. And Dad was like, what, are you sure? And I'm like, I'm really sure, we need to get off, or we missed our place. And we missed by 2, and we had to get an Uber to take us back to the hotel because by then we missed it. And we couldn't get out of you had to have a ticket to get out instead of to get in of the bus, like the
Subway.
train. Yeah, the subway. And literally, like, we couldn't get out. And we had one, and went through, and I'm like, Dad, just run right behind me to try to get out of this. And we couldn't, so we had this nice, like, couple, like, give us their ticket to, like, get out of there, because we were stuck in there. We were like, how the heck are we gonna get out of this place now? And just ridiculous. It was fun, but it was just
French
stressful.
people are really helpful, though, so that's great, because we worried that they were going to be rude and anti-American, you know, but
there was one girl that was, but the rest of them were nice.
Yeah.
Like, there was one girl that knew we were American, and she was not having it. Like, she was just like, I think she's calling us names because we didn't know what she was saying, and then this other lady butt in and just started yelling at her. Like, oh my gosh, that we were just in the middle of a fight, and we were like, what the heck is going on? Like,
We thought the 2 women were going to go fisticuffs.
it was really bad.
Chris was on talking about how it is going for the first time to not only France but anywhere, you know, when you're in the World Championships, and said by the time you go through so much, by the time it's time to do your official flights, you're just exhausted. And
yeah, that's for sure.
Well, then when you have your brother and your mom and different people calling you in the middle of the night.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Because
don't
they
even
don't
get me
realize-
started. I was getting so upset. I had people wake me up at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And I would just get on the phone. I'm like, I'm trying to sleep. It is so early in the morning. And then they're like, oh, I didn't know. And I'm like, well, 3 people have called me. Like, I'm not getting any sleep. Just like, it was just ridiculous.
really, count the lines on your globe, you can see how many hours difference it is.
Yeah, and I don't know. I like the Worlds. It's definitely something I'd never take back or anything, but I don't know about like ever really wanting to again. My stress once I got off that airplane ended once I got off the airplane home. Like, I was stressed out that whole entire time. I was shaking so bad on my first official flight. My legs were stuck to the ground. My takeoff was horrible because like I was just so nervous I couldn't move my feet, and people were like, that takeoff, and I was like, I couldn't move my feet. Like, I don't know what was happening. I was shaking. And
Well,
it was just
looking at your scores, it looked like you flew really well, because you were mid-pack. I mean, what,
Yeah.
62nd out of almost 100 pilots.
Yeah. My last flight was really good. But the 2 judges were super low, and then the 1 judge was really high. Like, the 2 judges, they didn't like it was like a total different flight. It was over 100-point difference. So it really screwed me over. I could have gotten the top
4, yeah.
3 or 4 or whatever if they would have matched.
I suspect if you ever get the opportunity to go again, you'll know ahead of time about some of the stresses, and it'll make it a little bit easier.
My last flight was really good because I was just used to it. And then my second flight there, I got I couldn't fly because my airplane wouldn't start. That was like just so stressful because I was just like, this whole thing's gonna go down, I can't get any more flights in. So then my third flight, I was really nervous thinking the airplane wouldn't start. And then by my 4th flight, when I knew it was gonna start, I just flew really good. So I don't know. It was just kind of you live and you learn sort of thing.
Yeah, you probably learned a lot. I mean, I hope you get.
I learned that I am definitely like older than I'm the only kid doing this anymore, and I just I forgot that I was 18, and this other kid was 12, 13, and I put my arm around him, just being nice, thought it was nice, and he just got super like weird about it, and I was like, oh no, like I'm so much older than him, and I'm just like all over him, like what the heck am I doing for a picture? And he was just super like blushing, and he didn't know what to do, and then everyone started laughing, and I was like, oh gosh.
They register and meet all your neighbors now to tell them.
Yeah, she's a pedophile.
Yeah, felt like one after. I was just super like, oh, I'm sorry.
If you'd have gave him a kiss on the cheek, he'd have passed right out.
He would have. He got super like.
He's probably super shot.
But yeah, I wish we could get some of the pictures from the Chinese team. We got to get a hold of them because they got some real good
I have them all on my phone.
Yeah, but I don't know if you got any of like when you put your arm around them. A lot of them are taking videos. Remember his dad run over there and grabbed his arm and put it up over your shoulder?
Yeah, he wouldn't touch me. Like he was just like, no, nope. He didn't want anything to do with that. And he was like one of the nicest people though. Like he talked pretty good English. And we got along pretty good. Like I most out of the kids or the Czech guy talked to him a lot because his English was like perfect. There wasn't even really a language barrier. Can't think. Oh, there was the girl from where was she from, Dad?
Oh shit, I can't. Not Romania.
I can't think where she was from, but I talked to her a lot. So.
But all you guys took off at the banquet, and all the kids took off.
Yeah, we all
Japanese and.
Yeah, we all had like a little party by ourselves, just like in. It was just all the kids, which was fun. But it's super weird. I mean, I'm the only person that's younger that flies, and then being around people younger than me flying is just like it's so weird. It was nice though, actually competing, like having like me to go up to the scores and being like, oh my gosh, like where did I place? And it was nice, but it's something different.
Yeah, well, congratulations. That was a great opportunity.
You know that one girl you was talking about? Was that the girl that takes off on her tiptoes?
Yeah. Yeah, she does.
Someone do that before. Have you guys seen that?
No.
She does FTC, I think, too.
What?
And she catches she doesn't fly it. She like catches all the airplanes and refuels and all that. It's pretty cool.
Oh, she does racing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. There's the pilot. She's the pit crew or whatever. So she catches that airplane at 60, 70 miles an hour.
Wow.
Starts it and launches it.
That's pretty impressive. But when I saw her take off, I never seen a pilot on their tiptoes. I thought she was going to do some ballet move or something.
Yeah, she flies different. Like if you watch, she has a lot of jerky movements. Because she does combat too. I guess she flew combat first, and she flies weird and like she flies like upside down inverted. But like when she does like her other maneuvers, like say an 8, she fully moves her hand like upside down. So her maneuvers look very like jerky just because how she flies. It's really different. But she flies good.
Yeah, I thought she did.
Hey guys, I gotta go back. I gotta try to go to sleep.
Okay, Sparky.
All right, Sparky. Hey, how far I didn't get to watch the rest of your video. Did you get the all the turtle decks and stuff on your airplane?
The airplane is all together except for doing the pipe tunnel. So the bottom is just taped on here.
Oh,
you click on you, Sparky.
All right, really nice. That's beautiful.
It's looking sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to watch most of the video, but I had to go work on my lawnmower and stuff, and I didn't see the end of it.
Yeah, well, it's only 10 minutes long. It was together. I shot the first part of it.
Now, are you gonna do like was it John did put a pipe tunnel in just in case you want to go with a pipe on it later?
I was just thinking about that tonight. Yeah, I'm working on the pipe tunnel now. This bottom piece is not glued on. Put a pipe.
That was a pretty good idea where you could use the header muffler or whatever you want to call it, and then if you change your mind, you can open that up and put a pipe in it.
Yeah, probably. I will probably do that.
That's good.
The reason being is weight.
Pardon me.
Looks like Mike left us. I didn't see him sign out. But
Yeah,
What'd you do to your airplane? I thought that was done.
Huh?
I thought
Mine?
the airplane was done.
you
he had
correct.
a line break.
Oh, you had a line break?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like 2 hours ago.
simultaneous pop.
Holy shit.
See ya.
Yep.
Take it easy, Frankie.
Bye. Thank you for accepting me.
You're welcome. See you later.
Oh yeah, man, Stevie. Tell you what, that thing went pack and poof. That's how it went. Doing my second I did my first outside square, come on the second one. When I hit that second corner, it just went pow and just shoot right into it.
Where did it break right at the eyelets or
Like 3 or 4 feet away from the handle. Both lines snapped.
wow. Did you notice any kind of a kink in them or anything like that?
What, like kinks and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had kinks in them. I mean, they were old lines. They're about a year old, and I have a new set of Tom Morse lines that I bought just for this plane.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna use these. It'll be all right. And that was just, and I have a new set of Tom Morse lines that I bought just for this plane.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna use these. It'll be all right. And that was just, and I have a new set of Tom Morse lines that I bought just for this plane.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna use these.
Well, we got some kind of a loop going.
Put it out again.
I tell you what, I got a nice voice now that I hear it.
You got a sexy voice, Jamie.
That's got to be it. Yeah, I'm telling you.
What time you got to work tomorrow, babes?
2:30 to close. I go in later, but I work till the end. So
Well, you get to sleep in though.
yeah, finally, I don't have to set an alarm. But I mad because I like task. Like I like being in the back, like just going to town getting stuff done. I don't like being in the front of the store anymore. I thought I would really like it, but I like just going back there and like getting new products out and price checking, and I feel like I get so much accomplished. My baby! Oh, my baby.
Hey, Tom.
Baby.
You don't know where you're at.
Baby.
Hey, that was an interesting story I was listening to from France. That was pretty cool.
I miss my baby.
Yeah, them
I
life.
move into college in 2 days, everyone. 2 days.
Oh, wow. 2 more days.
I'm not ready. I don't want to go anymore.
How far away is it from home?
About 45 minutes. Well, Dad can get there in 30. I get there in around an hour because I drive the speed limit. So.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
that's
But
So you're not staying in the dormitories or anything like that?
I'm staying in a dorm, and I stay in a honors dorm, so I have it all to myself. So like, I don't share a room. I just share a bathroom with one person, and I really like my suite mate. We already met. She went to my graduation party. We talk all the time. Like, it's pretty nice. I already made a really good friend through it. So.
Good.
But I just did not want to share a room, and I told them then, like, I will not share a room, and then they came back.
Really, really big bathroom. Because of all the shit she keeps in her bathroom, there won't be no room for her roommate there to have any place for her.
Whatever. I can't be like that.
What we'll have to do is get a cart, and you can just wheel it into the bathroom. And when you're done, wheel
You're
it out.
horrible. You're mean. You're mean. But I can probably get back on here Friday when I'm already in there, because I have to spend the night there Thursday night. And then Friday Friday I work, but I could get on there later that night because
Hopefully
I
you'll
think
have
they
a good
stay
enough
open
broadband.
until 9:15 or something like that because it's like college day and we put all of our stuff outside and we have like really good deals and the store's practically outside on the street and then all the college people come down and buy clothes and whatnot.
You think you're going to have a pretty good broadband connection in the dorms?
Yeah.
They're supposed to. We'll see. For what it costs, they damn sure better have some kind of premium
Yeah.
band.
Just like all of them, though, it'll depend on how many people are using it at the same time. So,
Well,
I got a new computer and all that kind of stuff. Like a really expensive computer, but it's really nice. And if there's good Wi-Fi, then it should work good. That's what we're betting on is good Wi-Fi for it.
well, good. It'll be nice to have you drop in and talk about airplanes and stuff with us. So,
yeah. Well, I
We're
wanted
always-
to do this before, but I couldn't figure it out. Like, I don't know why. And then it kept saying, like, I wasn't accepted. So I called Dad, and I'm like, I literally can't do anything. And then he was like, oh, yeah, I had to make a new account here because, like, Hotmail went into, like, Outlook.com or something like that. And I had a Hotmail. That was my first ever email. And then they went into Outlook, and all of a sudden my email started getting messed up. So I just went into Gmail, like, a while ago. But I just never made a new profile on here. So I had to do that because that email was all messed up.
Yeah, she can kind of keep us. She's going to try to get a club going there.
That'd be great.
that'll be cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's this at?
Big Rapids, Michigan.
It's so about hour and 15 minutes north of Grand Rapids.
How far is that away from where you grew up, where you live now?
Well, it's about a 35-minute drive for me and about a 45-minute drive for her.
Hey, that's great.
I drive the speed limit.
I can warp time a little bit.
Yeah, but that's great. I mean, that saves. Yeah, you're not far away at all.
But
Tell them what it was
thing
gonna
I
cost.
wanted to stand.
Oh, you froze up, babes.
She froze.
Okay, I want to stay in the dorm is because they wouldn't let me, like my Chem 114 class. They gave me a half of my class in the morning and then half at night, and it's like a 5-hour gap. And it's gonna be like way too much to drive like there in the morning and then go back home and then drive there again and then drive back home, and then that's twice a week. And then I do class every single day of the week. So I have chem every single day and all that. So I just have a lot like for my first year because I'm in honors. So they really pack it on there for you.
What are you majoring in?
Nursing.
Oh, cool.
Good.
Yeah.
Which college are you going to?
Ferris State University.
Ferris State University. Very good.
Yeah,
Look
that's
at it
where
this
I
way.
went.
If it don't work out, you could always move down here and go to trade school and be a welder and go work offshore and retire in a few years.
Whatever.
I told
I'd be a good welder.
I work for a welding contractor. But
Yeah, I know. So I could just go through Dad.
yeah, I told her if all else fails and she doesn't get good grades, we have 2 female welders right now at work. So, and the bosses love them because they don't tend to go out and get drunk the night before and come in all hungover and stuff like that. So they're always working, the 2 girls, but yeah, they're a little more sensible, the young girls and the young guys.
Welding ain't easy to do with a hangover. Believe me, I've tried.
I done it right out of high school. I learned to do it in high school. It just depends on what you're doing, what kind you're doing.
Yeah. I can't really see myself doing much, which is like the big thing. Like, Dad and I were talking about different jobs for me because, like, I don't know, you can like say like a job looks good on paper, but like I can't see myself like doing certain jobs at all. And like I've always helped people, and I've always like, I don't know, like I just kind of like helping people, and we were thinking like a job where I help people is going to be the best job for me because that's what I've done. Like my mom works in hospitals and like old homes and everything. And when I was little, I went with her all the time and helped her and cleaned with her. And like, I've always been around stuff like that and I like it. So we thought that nursing would be the best. And nursing also has like a bunch of different outlets you could go into. So
nursing, yeah, exactly what I was about to say. Nursing has a lot of different branches you can take depending on what you find out you like, because you really don't, nobody knows what they're really going to like when they first go to college. It's just a guess.
Yeah, when I start my clinicals, then I'll start enrolling.
She does nursing. She gets geriatrics because I'm getting there real quick.
Stop.
I'm going to throw a good example at this, okay? And it just came to mind.
Maybe,
I don't see my,
maybe it was that drive.
I don't see myself
that caused that there, Steve.
I mean, look at this.
Oh, man, it's funny. Comic relief.
I don't see myself selling unique, but I'm pretty sure I'd be good at it.
Well, you can join through me.
And also being a PA is not bad either.
You know what, Jamie? You may be able to sell that to some of them welders and shit you're around.
Probably so, especially in the
sell it to their
wives.
Yeah, sell it to their wives.
I messaged me that someone showed their daughter my live video and she wants to order from me, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Who's that?
So, here I have my messenger open. Forget his name, but I actually know him. Ferraro, however you say it. He I flew combat with him.
Oh, okay, cool.
Ferraro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He donated to me too in my GoFundMe, so. And I guess he showed his daughter my live video, and she wants to order from me next week. So
that's cool.
Get some sales in. I've already made a lot of money. I made $70, and then I made another 10. So.
$80. Well, you can loan me money now.
No.
Tell everybody what they wanted to insure you here in Michigan if you went on your own.
Ooh, listen to this bull crap.
Hey, I need a new twister.
Over $600. Whoa. And then she said, did I lose you? And I'm like, I don't even make $600 in a month. Like, you didn't lose me. I literally can't. Like, it's not that I have that money. I don't want to spend it. I don't even have that. And she's like, oh, well, we have another plan for $350. And I was like, okay, I make at least like $300 every 2 weeks, but that's like maybe if I'm working like a lot of hours. Like I have my biggest check I've ever got from JCPenney is a little over $300, and I normally don't get that. So I was like, I literally can't. I can't do that. So, and she's like, well, huh?
What kind of insurance was this?
Car insurance.
Yeah, it was just my own insurance.
It cost to have her on my insurance. I knew it was going to be expensive because just to have her on my insurance and her living to home was $135 a month.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's for a 2003 car. I mean, Michigan, they keep saying they're going to do something about the insurance and stuff, but I pay almost $100 a month for mine, and I have no tickets or anything.
And they were like reading me off every discount my dad gets, and it's still that expensive. I mean, my dad got like 6 discounts, and they were telling me like, because I told them I literally can't pay for it, and they were like, oh, download this app, and then if you drive good for 90 days, we'll give you a discount and all that. And I'm like, with the discount, it's still over like $400 for that. Like, I can't even pay for gas. I'll have an insured car, but it'll be sitting in the driveway. So,
well, you already got the batteries to start going electric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't do it, so I'm just gonna pay Dad the money because I don't make enough, and I'm going down to like 10 hours, 10 to 15 during the school year, like next week, because I'm not gonna work that much during school. So I wouldn't have enough money to pay for it.
Right.
That's what me and my wife do too.
Yeah.
Our daughter, same thing. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, now she can't She can't do the time warp driving like I do. She can't make sure she don't have a ticket till she's 21.
I got pulled over and like I was so upset. I started crying and the guy was like, "What's wrong?" And then I was like, "I'm really upset." And then he's like, "Can I see your license registration?" I'm like, "I don't know. I know my license is, but I don't even know what my registration is." And he had to like come around and show me what it was. And I felt like an idiot. And he just told me like, "I'm gonna get you out of here as fast as possible." He just didn't want to mess with me anymore. Like he just
You got
didn't
no
want to deal with me.
I haven't
ticket,
tried
right?
that yet. I'll try that way.
You got
Yeah.
no ticket, right, Samantha? No ticket?
What?
Let you go, no ticket, right?
Yeah, I didn't get a ticket.
Well, he pulled her over because he noticed her
I was
crying.
in distress. Yeah.
She was crying
Like,
while she
while I
was
was
driving.
driving.
She got in a fight with her mom and stuff, and she started crying, and he pulled her over because he seen her crying, turned around and went and got her.
And he was going to give me something, but he noticed that I was like really upset and he just let me go.
I'm convinced that women don't get tickets.
That was a good
Women
thing.
don't get tickets. They hardly ever get tickets.
I'm 34. I got one ticket ever.
Oh. Jeez.
And I drive recorded.
I'm a pretty safe driver. Like, I don't know. Dad even thinks I'm a safe driver, so that's saying something.
He's unlucky though, because I get pulled over with her in the car.
Oh my gosh. Literally, last time he got pulled over, I like got mad at him. Like, I was like, why do you get pulled over all the time? Like, what's the problem? Like, do you not need to drive because you keep getting pulled over? Like, what the heck is wrong with you? I was sleeping and I woke up to sirens. I'm like, why? Why do you do this? Like,
Tell him
so
why
mad.
it was, because the tint on your windows is too dark.
That was bull crap. It is not too dark. But they pull you over for reasons, or you get in fights, like, while you're driving. You just make people mad at you.
No one ever gets mad at me.
It's so annoying. Like, he'll, like, do things to make people mad. When they're already mad, I'm like, people are crazy nowadays. You can pull out a gun or something. You just...
Yeah, people are crazy.
Ugh.
Yes,
I
they
drive
are.
so safe, and, like, I just don't even let people get to me, and the dad is just totally different, and I get so upset at him. Or, like, he'll go way over the speed limit. I'm like, slow down. Ridiculous.
I just usually flip
Dad
them
knows
off.
sign language.
Yeah, I just sign language. Change extras or anything when I'm driving.
Ridiculous. The people there also were super surprised that I've drove for 3 years now. And they were like, "What? You drive?" And I was like, "Yeah," because they drive when they're, 18? They can get their license? Or is it older than that? I think it's 18.
Yeah.
But-
Well, yeah, because
But I went into driver training when I was 14 and a half. So I've been driving something like that.
yeah, because I paid for everything. A lot of kids don't drive because it's so damn expensive.
True.
$400 for driver's training, and then you got
My test.
third while you're going through driver's training here in Michigan and everything. So
You know, the kids here, it's free. We don't have to pay for nothing.
Really?
Test.
Yeah, I took my.
The only thing we have to pay for is just, the car and the insurance for them.
Well, that's nice. Dad went to a good one because we have like a lot of ones that are cheap, but they're just bad like teachers. And the one that I went to is really, really nice. And I think like I drive the way I do because of them. Like a lot of people drive different, and they went through a whole different company, and I think they taught me really well. And I got like an actual book I got to take home, and a lot of them had to keep the books there, and a lot of stuff's different about where Dad put me through, and then where a lot of
I had to find a place that had a car that you could see over the hood.
Shut up. I already get made fun of my height. We were taking a group photo in France, and he goes, "Samantha, stand up." And I'm like, really? Like, you tell me that in front of everyone.
Yeah, when they did,
So dumb.
They did the whole thing of all the flyers there. And she was in the front. I'm like, Samantha, stand up.
Oh, that's nice.
I thought she was gonna flip me off, but she didn't.
Oh man.
I was like, I looked at him, I was like, embarrassed me in front of people like that. He says things in front of people, and I'm like, why? Why would you say that? Like, what? What possessed you to say that? Like, you embarrass me, and my face gets so red when I get embarrassed. I can't even hold it back.
He doesn't understand. It's because
Don't feel bad. Charles is the same way.
stuff.
Yeah, I'm short too, Samantha. I'm only 5'5".
Hey, Jamie, have you done anything on the twister, or are you still evaluating?
Oh man, I already got one part C8. I got epoxy down right, and I'm gonna be covering in 2 days.
Oh.
If not,
All right. At least you're drinking.
Yeah.
What you been doing for fun, Al? You been getting any stick time?
Me, yeah. I was at a combat contest in Hershey with the guys. They weren't too happy with me though. That flew into 2 mid-airs, but so they were a little upset with me for a while, and then they got over it. But we had a good time. It was really hot.
I've never seen a combat contest where there wasn't a mid-air or two. They'd bust them up at Huntersville all the time.
Yeah.
Well, that's why Samantha kind of quit flying combat, because it was gentleman's combat, and they didn't like how she flew. She was too aggressive.
They told me at every match or during when I was flying, they were like, "Oh, you can't," because I got a cut, and then they were like, "Oh, let me get a cut." I said, "No, you're not getting a cut on me. Like, I'm not giving you a cut." And they're like, "Gentleman's combat," and I'm like,
"What?
I'm winning. Like, I already got a cut on you." I'm like, no.
I've never heard of gentleman's combat. It sounds like they're making up rules as they go along. Yeah, Michael.
I did an inverted under pass, so he got really close to me, and I made him think I was gonna let him get a cut, and then I just went inverted real quick and went right under him and up and cut him, and that set everyone off. Like, I had so much hate on me for that. Like, after that, people were just like, she doesn't fly good. She just likes to make people upset and all that. It's just like, I'm just trying to get a cut on you.
I already know.
That's the way the game's played.
Yeah.
Mid-airs, monkey post, shit happens, man.
Yeah.
Everything legitimate and legal in that hemisphere, I mean, you can do anything, right?
Well, it's the deal to where combat, I know people don't want mid-airs and crash their planes, but it just happens. That's part of combat. And if you don't like that part of it, then,
I mean, that's why you do an airplane for every match, because they think, you have to think, statistically, I'm going to crash every time I go up. Right. It's not even a bad thing. It just happens.
Yeah.
It was like one time at Brodax, we were racing, and the guy comes up and flies right into our airplane, and it goes into the ground, but it's not hurt at all. It's just setting with a nose pitched down, and it's sitting there. And I'm like, okay, when it's done, we'll start it back up. I'll be damned, the same guy went to take off. The airplane cuts across the field and just takes Samantha's airplane, cuts it in half. Poof.
Yeah. I was just like, what the heck just happened? I was so mad because he already had airtime on me, and I knew he did it on purpose because he knew that if I went back up and got a cut, I would get the time on him or whatever. So if he put me down that time, he knew that I couldn't get back up in enough time to win. So, but that's the name of the game. I wasn't butthurt about it. I mean, it's just that's combat. It's pretty cutthroat, and people don't like that about it. But
that's what people love about it.
That's my kind of combat right there.
That's some people love it, some people hate it.
Yeah, at Brodak, they didn't they wanted it to be very no one crashes their airplane, very safe, and that's just not combat. So
yeah, it's sort of Brodak's more like sort of like a training ground out there. There's more inexperienced combat flyers there.
Yeah.
So it's more of a learning.
But I was an experienced combat fighter. That's my first match, like, there. And I just get super, like, right when I get up there, my heart starts beating and I get really pumped up and I just had all this adrenaline and stuff like that. I feel like other people don't get that or something because I was just, like, shaking. I was just ready to go and everything. But, I mean, I was new and I just did it, I guess.
Sounds like you came to play, you know? I mean,
I did.
What was funny
I
was,
didn't want to do it and to do it.
what was funny was before we left for Brodax, so she got some practice in. She was flying with Dick here, and we took, and she didn't know it, but before we launched, we hooked a streamer on hers that was twice as long as a normal streamer.
Yeah.
I was so suspicious about it. Remember that you guys were acting all weird, and I was like, "Is this my streamer?" And I was like looking at it. I'm like, "Mine looks a lot bigger, but I guess I'll, you know, whatever. Like, I guess I'm just seeing things." And then you guys kept whispering, like, to check, and I go up there, and this thing just keeps on like unraveling and unraveling while he like launches my airplane. I'm like, "Holy crap! My airplane's like." And he just comes there and he's doing like little cuts on me. I'm like, what kind of crap is that? I was getting so angry.
Until he cut it up enough to where it was the same length, and then they could fly. But yeah, that was funnier now.
my wife says New England rules are called, or like kiss your sister combat, more like fun fly and trade cuts.
Yeah. Like I said, that's a liberal combat.
Kiss your sister combat. That's what he called it.
That's funny.
I'm getting in on this conversation now.
Yeah.
All right, because I'll tell you, there's guys that will not fly the New England rule. We got guys that have been coming to Huntersville for years, and since Howard changed to that format.
Huntersville's balls to the walls combat, isn't it?
No, it's speed limit combat with New England rules, flying 4 rounds for points. I know of at least 3 guys that will not come to Huntersville anymore because of the New England rules. They don't.
What's the New England rules?
All right. So in traditional, you can fly speed limit a couple of different ways. You can have an elimination contest, either a single elimination, double elimination, triple elimination. So, I mean, the rules are the same. It's 100 points a cut, and then you get 1 point for every second of air time. Okay? So in a double elim, if you lose twice, you're out. All right? They came up with these New England rules where it's a point system, and there is no eliminations. Everybody flies 4 times. It's 4 rounds of flying. So some guys like that because you know when you go to a contest, you're guaranteed you're going to fly 4 matches. Okay? But it's an accrued points for the winner. So you can get 300 points for cuts, 3 cuts. 300 points of airtime, right? 5 minutes for 300 points. You get a clean match bonus. If you do not have a midair, you get a 200-point clean match bonus. And that goes to both pilots. Both pilots can get that. And then Howard has added 100 points to the winner. So if you get all of it, you can get close to 900 points for a match. So your points are cumulative for the entire day for 4 matches. So if you get, let's just say, for example, you fly 4 matches and you get 500 points in each match, you got 2,000 points. The one with the highest points at the end of the day wins the match or wins the contest. So most points first, second most, third, second, and so on. The problem that some guys have with that is it's possible to win the contest without winning all your matches. It could happen because it's a points accruement that gets you to first place. So some of the purists just want to fly an elimination contest. Well, the problem with elimination is if you're flying a triple elim contest, even with 10 guys, that can take a long time for everybody to lose 3 times. Whereas if you're just flying 4 rounds and there's no elimination, it's less. So you get to fly more with speed limit, New England rules, than you would in a double elim.
The most fun was flying against Jack because and we just totally went as hard as we could on each other, and it was just the most fun I've ever had. Like
In double
doing that with him.
In double elimination, I mean, you could fly 5 times. You could fly 6 times, you know, if nobody's beating you and you make it to the end. But you might only, if you lose your first 2 matches, you're done. You know, and if you drove 500 miles to go to a contest, are you going to go there to fly twice and be out? So that's the appeal of the. I mean, Al, you fly the New England rules up there. I like the New England rules for the fact that I get to fly 4 times. I'm guaranteed that I'm going to fly 4 matches. You know, but I like the Nats format where they still do a double elimination contest. You know, because then you really do get to who's the best. I think not who's the best at scoring points. Because the other issue with the New England rules is you get 2 buddies there flying there. Well, let's just fly level and trade cut. You get 3 cuts, I get 3 cuts. Let's get all our time our clean match. You know, and I think everybody's guilty of that. Everybody does that. If you
not me. I go hard. I don't give anyone
if you're flying your buddy, you know, you go up and, you know, let's not wreck our stuff. Let's just trade cuts and get points. So some of the purists in combat don't like that part of it. Okay.
Yeah, I don't. I think because Dick also taught me, and Dick is a hardcore combat flyer, like sort of thing. So I think I got all that from Dick.
I fly hard when I'm flying, even if it's New England rules. I'm flying for cuts, and I'm trying.
Yeah.
You know, if we run into each other, well, sorry, that's what happens, man. You know, I made some pretty bad errors at Brodax. I ran into, I think, at least 2 people at Brodax, but a lot of times you get guys, they won't even engage you. You know, they don't want.
We can hear you, but your picture.
Combat.
Your picture froze up.
Can you see me?
No, we just hear you.
We just see your avatar.
Hey, y'all, I got to take off.
Okay, Jimmy. Good luck fixing that twister up. We want to see that thing fly again soon. Don't worry about what it looks like.
It'd be good for Saturday to fly.
Yeah. Don't fret over how it looks.
Yeah. Al, what?
Oh, it ain't no big deal. All right, I'll try to ask y'all Friday.
What's it?
What are your thoughts on that, Al, on the contest?
Dad, can you see me?
Yeah.
I mean, we always fly Roy's rules. The same like New England, but we don't. Winner doesn't get 100 points.
Okay,
you know?
yeah. Howard added that to our event to try to appease some of the guys for saying, you know, you don't get anything for winning. You don't have to win your matches to get to the top. So Howard added that. I don't know.
Everybody's sort of mellowing now, but we used to fly half A, which is, you know, a single elimination. So, you know, we used to, you know, that's where everybody was real aggressive. So we used to fly half A first and sort of get all that out of your system, and then we would fly speed limit. But now nobody flies half A anymore. So, you know, it's because of all the carnage, and, you know, I guess everybody started dropping out, and it just got down to 2 guys. And we haven't flown half A in like 3 years, you know.
We fly it in Huntersville. We get a few guys, and we fly it in Detroit. I mean, I'll fly either format. I don't care. I like double elim. I like rounds. I like flying rounds too, because you do get to fly 4 times. But the style of flying is definitely way less aggressive in the round format than it is in the elimination time. You don't have to win keep flying.
I flew half A or you know, single elimination way better than I fly speed limit. You know, it's just you know, just going for the kill to me was a lot easier than, you know, going for the, you know, just cut the, you know, going for the little cuts on the end of the and then following and chasing around. You know, for me, half A was just, you know, so much easier just going for the kill. I did, you could do really, really well, doing that, having a good running half a model and had good speed and, things were happening for me. The speed limit is more, I don't know, you're trying to hold back and then, and follow some guy and turns in the other direction, you get into midair. It's just, this seems to be, harder for me than, I mean, as to win, to win a contest. If I wanted to really win, really bad, now I just go, for not the competition, but for, to fly with the guys. But
Sure.
when Cafe, it was like all out competition.
Right.
You
Yeah.
were going at it 100%. Your adrenaline was like, you're really, totally focused. Flying half-A combat.
Yeah. Well, and the matches are usually over in a minute. There's just, Cafe's just like fast. It ends in a kill or a midair in 45 seconds. I like that. I love it. I love it.
Hey guys, I got to get off. I'm going to try to get my lawnmower going. I've been working on my lawnmower for like 4 hours. I got to get one more damn valve back in there.
All right.
If I can.
You have to make you a special tool to retract the valve.
No, I've been doing it with screwdrivers, a little piece of wood. It took me 2 hours to get the intake one on, and now I'm working on the exhaust to get that keeper in there.
Why don't you go down to the snapper shop and see if they'll rent you one or something?
No one seems to have them. I could buy one, but they're $58, and I'm like, screw that. I ain't probably never gonna do this again. I got enough valve grinding compound to last me for like 5 lifetimes.
Yeah, I know, right? They always give you a great big tube of it.
This come in a little jar, but I mean, it's like 4 ounces, and I'm like, I don't know what I'd ever use it for.
Hey, it's great to put on a Phillips screwdriver tip.
Yeah.
Keeps your Phillips screwdriver from slipping on a screw.
Oh, no kidding. I have to try that.
Great.
Hey, Mike, did you ever figure out why your engine quit while you were flying that day? That your
I'll see you later. Samantha, give me a call when you get off.
Yeah, I'm gonna get off now because I'm gonna go to bed. I'm super tired.
Yeah, I want to get that out of there.
guys later.
Hey, see
Bye,
you.
guys.
Samantha, appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll probably be on next Friday or this Friday.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right, have a good week.
Yeah. You too. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, I'll be back. I need to make me some popcorn or something. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, bring us up. Make enough for all of us.
Yeah.
So, Tom, did you guys go out flying today?
Yeah, we got a couple flights and it was muddy and wet. It was nasty.
Where'd you go? Oh, you went to Salzburg?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the grass was really high. I had to cut it first, and it was a long night. But
Oh, really?
yeah,
Because the other guys went to Middlesex today.
oh, they did.
Yeah, the early guys.
Oh yeah, during the day.
Yeah.
Oh well, of course, yeah. By the time I do that, I don't know if everybody else would be pushing up daisies. So,
How hot is it up there in the middle of the day?
it's about 90. The weather broke, but it's been in the 90s, and it's humidity's been through the roof. So
Yeah.
it's been brutal here. Yeah,
Where's that at?
New Jersey.
New Jersey?
Yep.
Yeah, but today was a lot nicer though, wasn't it?
Yeah, today was a lot better. Al, did you
Yeah.
see this? I got him a motor together.
Yeah, that's from a Satan.
Okay.
Now that's a new.
I did an LS replica. I chamfered the intake. Okay.
Right.
See that. I timed the crank and set the deck. So he's all set. I need a needle valve. I don't have any more Randy Smith needle valves.
Oh, I don't have a Randy. I mean, I have something for you that'll work. Just
I don't have a 36X needle valve anymore. I'm out of them.
No,
That's what Mike Lonke's going to be the maiden pilot for that.
This is a needle bearing, but it'll run. I'm going to put it on my Super Satan this weekend. We'll see what we get out of it.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the one for Rusty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh, so you're giving them should have Ellis sign it for him, engrave it.
Yeah,
That's
right.
what Ken Cook said. Because I
Yeah.
told him about it. I posted about it over on Cox Engine forums.
Okay.
This was
that's
actually the first one I ever bought. This is the first 36 I ever bought myself as a kid.
Hey, Mike, I was asking Tom about the 018 lines, and
Nah.
he was saying 15s would be okay as long as we're not, competing and cutting.
Oh yeah, probably
Cutting
for flying.
lines and stuff.
Yeah, just for flying. I wouldn't fly a match with them, but
Yeah, right.
yeah, it'll fly.
Okay. So I got some 62s, some 60s, and some 58s. So I'll bring the whole stack of them, and we'll
Bring
pick
a
them.
new set.
I mean,
Make sure they're good. Make sure we get a good pull test on them.
Yeah, we'll test them out. They're pretty good. They're only two of them have never been. Now, one of them's never been used. I think the 58s, and the other ones are in good shape. Because I'm meticulous about checking my lines.
No, I take no responsibility if lines break when I'm flying that airplane.
Okay. Hey, I'm meticulous at keeping my lines clean.
I'm not going to vouch for them. So you make sure you got a good set.
Okay.
And good connectors too.
Yeah.
Just pull
My
test
lines
it.
are good. You don't have to worry about my lines.
Yeah.
I promise.
All right, Rusty,
But
were
we
you going to
used
ask
to
me?
fly with all 15s in the 60s all the time in combat matches. Didn't have really any problems.
Okay.
We always had, when I was flying as a junior and a senior, that's what we used, 015s. So just
I got that.
but just flying, just solo flying, it's no problem at all.
Yeah.
It's as long as the lines are in good shape, they're not kinked or anything.
Yeah. So the streamer, I'm gonna put a streamer on it just to help slow it down a little bit. And you said like a outdoor tablecloth or something like that. Is that what y'all use at Huntersville?
Howard will have streamers there, Rusty.
Okay.
We'll have streamers.
Okay.
That won't be a problem. I'm not going to fly it with a streamer.
Well, what do you guys use as streamers?
I want to time it and see what it'll do.
Okay.
Hey Tom, what kind of fuel do we need for this thing?
Well, I would, with the needle bearing, I wouldn't go over 35%.
Okay.
You can't run 50% in the needle bearing. It'll keep right up.
What kind of oil content do we want, and what percentages?
You can run 22. This is actually in pretty good shape, this engine. It doesn't have a lot of varnish on it at all. So you could run 50-50, synthetic and caster in that.
So stunt fuel will be fine.
Yeah,
you'll be fine.
The Power Master.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be bringing some sticks.
Let me just run this by. I do have some 35% that I run in my Nelsons, but I do 15% caster and 5% clots synthetic for a total of 20 altogether.
Well, mix that. Rusty has GMA 10% Power Master, right?
I got SIG, and I think somebody's bringing me some Power Master. Yeah, so I'll have.
I would do the first flight with all, with the Power Master GMA,
1022,
and then if you want to try to kick something a little bit stronger, mix half of Mike's fuel in with half that Power Master.
Okay. Well, I mean, I can make a quart of 20% oil, 35% nitro, half and half. I can make it. I've got all the shit here.
Okay. I've actually got a little bit of. I got Cox Super Power Fuel. That's what its mix is.
I make all my own fuel for my Nelsons and for my Profi half A's. So, I mean, it's clots and it's double A caster. So I've been running that stuff in my engines for years, and it's not a problem. But I just wanted, if you say 35, just to see how fast it'll go. If you don't care about the speed, Rusty, we'll just run the Power Master, and I won't bother making any.
We're gonna have to put an 88 on it.
What's that, Al?
Put an 88 APC 88 prop, and if you want to get the most speed out of it.
I think I've got a couple of 88s here in my shop.
in APC, and that you'll get the most speed out of it versus. Well, if Tom's going to put it on his plane, we'll try to dial it in. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see what it'll do on this
When
week.
I fly it, I'm gonna pitch it back. I'm not gonna run an 8 pitch.
And I'll bring, if I end up down in Huntersville, I'll bring mine down with me, my Super Satan.
No, there you go.
Super Satan it, and you know, we'll let it rip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much does your Super Satan weigh?
That one right now is 16.89 pounds. I mean, pounds. That's it's super light. Hopefully it stays together. That one was 18.2 when I first finished it, and
that's what mine had.
Yeah. Now it's a little heavier than that, but it still flies well. I mean, hey, it won our speed challenge last year. None of us broke 120 last year. It won at 119 last year. It was a bad air. We don't know what it was last year. None of us could break 120.
It was the air because Tom Schaefer and I were running high nitro and we were detonating. I was blowing plugs like crazy, and you know we had to shim the head, and you know it's funny because on Jim Vergani's plane, his plane ran faster on 10% than it did on the higher nitro. You know,
Oh, really? Wow.
You know, so it was the air and everything was set up. You know, we were set up too tight for high nitro. Actually, I added a head shim to the one plane already, so to test it out. So I was twisting the plugs. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Any of y'all know Chris Hornaday?
Nope.
No, he's hanging out over on YouTube. I recognize the name. I'm pretty sure from Stunthangar.
Yeah.
Chris, let us know. Are you a member of Stunthangar? I'm pretty sure I recognize your name. Could be from my other forums. I don't know.
So, Mike, you're running the Picos? I mean, the Profies?
Yeah. I run the Profies in half A. I bought 2 Profies and 2 Foras 5 years ago when the new Profi came out, when the new version of the Staring Profi. I bought 2 of each. I flew them all 4 for one season, and I decided that I liked the Profi better, so I sold the 2 Foras. And I'm probably going to have to pick up 2 more Profis now that Sam is going to start flying half A. So,
yeah.
Not real excited about that because they raised the price on them. When I bought them from Hobby Club in San Clemente, I paid $179 for them, and now he's getting $220 for them.
Right. Yeah.
And they're like $280 on eBay. Whoever's selling them on eBay is getting almost $300 a piece for them. But I think the Profis I think they start a little better and they seem to spin up a little more for me. I think they're definitely faster than a Fora.
Yeah, well, I mean, my experience with them, I had to put a smaller prop on them. You know, to make them.
I'm running the 114 or the 118 millimeters.
Yeah,
instead of 1.5.
I know they won't take you know, mine wouldn't run as well as the Fora or the Cyclone with a the bigger pitch prop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I had to run the what's his name? Briscoe was selling certain props, and I had to cut it down the prop to make it run on my Profi. But by far the Pico was the strongest engine out of all of them, and got the best fuel mileage by far.
Hey Gerald, you snuck back in on me. I didn't even see you sitting there.
Now you're talking about the reworked ones from Doug Galbraith, right?
Yeah. That's correct. I mean, I bought them, you know, they were only like $25 or $30. And I was running them. I was putting JB Weld in them. I had 2 of them that broke the cranks. And then I sent it to Doug and he sleeved them. But, and then, you know, but I never ran them since then. But I was running them with just JB Weld in the bypass. Like, you know, making a ramp in there, just that, because that's where they would break, right in the window.
Right.
But by far, they were way stronger than the Cyclone, than every other half A I tried.
Well,
they were wicked fast.
I've been around one.
Yeah.
Been on where one was a reworked one as well, and the guy couldn't get started. So I never got to see it fly.
Oh, really? Because I used to have to hand start the full. I mean, I used to start her on the fours and the cyclones and my Profi. The Pico, I would hand start that. It would start right up, no problem.
Yeah,
that was easy. But they were they're great little engines. You know, they're
by the time you get the engine, you do the rework. Aren't they creeping up around $200 though? Anyway.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, you know, well, yeah, that's another thing to make it run too is you need Doug's head. You need to run a Nelson plug.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the Profi. I bought it off of what was his name? Was it the guy that sold the Profis back in the beginning? Was it Booker or something? A speed guy. And well, anyway, he made a head for the turbo head. That's when the turbos were popular, you know, like the car. And I put the turbo, you know, plug in there, and it was, you know, really lost a lot of performance. And then I just put it on the mill, and I kept on lowering the chamber down, you know, really tight, and got some of the performance back, but still not as good as the Nelson plug. You know, the Nelson plug really affects the half A's. You know, huge performance.
Well, I am sold on the Profi, and that's what I'll be buying from here on out, just to keep everything the same. You know, I mean, unless I found a ripping deal on some Cyclones or even some fours. If they were cheap enough, I'd buy them. But if I'm buying new engines, I'll pay the extra money and get the Profis.
Right.
I could have had two Cyclones from Mac Henry. He had two that I helped sell all his gear, and I think Lane Puckett got both of those for like $275 for two Cyclones of Mac Henry's.
Right.
You know, of course, now I'm regretting it. I wish I had them because I see what Cyclones are going for on eBay.
Right.
But I'm not big on buying engines I can't buy parts for either. You know.
Right. Yeah. Well, this is that's the Pico with the and he has that sleeve. I don't know if you could see that.
Right there. Hold it right there. Yep, I see.
That's a sleeve Pico.
Okay.
Right. You know.
But you see how it steps down in the front. Yeah.
So what he does is he puts a sleeve over it to beef up the window because they cracked right, you know, right where in the window. You snap the front of the tank, you know, the prop comes flying off it. But I had my best one, and it was living, you know, before I ran them before Doug sleeved them. I never ran a sleeved one yet, and I JB welded it up, and it was running fantastic. And I was flying with the guy in Massachusetts, Neil Simpson, and we got into the match, and we started going, and I killed him. And so, you know, the match is over, and my thing was running really good. We leveled out flying, and all of a sudden the thing spit the crank out. That was my best running engine. I couldn't believe it. But I mean, it had, you know, it must have had like, you know, 50 matches on it, and plus it's been in the ground too. So
yeah.
And I had a 4 also break the threads off the front of the crank, but you know, right at the prop, you know, went to flip it, and the prop broke right off of my hand, you know, with the threads on the crank.
Don Stoneman that comes to Huntersville, he's flying. He's got some black case GRS for us, half A's.
Right, that's what I have.
Yeah, they go like stink, man. They run like stink.
Yeah, you know? But you know, like I said, they mine, they've been in the ground, so you know, I can't complain.
Yeah. Well, the other thing about the Profi too, I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's 3 grams lighter than the Fora.
Oh, it's very light. Yeah. The this the Pico is the heaviest.
Is it?
That's a time. Yeah, it's very heavy. So it's but it's by far the strongest, and it's and the fuel mileage, because like the problem with the Cyclones, you couldn't get enough of fuel in the fours to run the full 5 minute match. And you usually say, well, half a combat only usually lasts a minute anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're flying guys like Neil and Roy Glenn, the match seems to go on and on forever.
Mm-hmm.
They're those guys are really sharp, and it's
If you are you going to be able to come to Huntersville?
no, that's my work schedule, and and the ride.
If you come to Brodax,
That's a 10-hour ride.
If you come to
What's that?
Brodax next year, bring that Pico with you, and I'd like to see one run. I'd be interested to see it fly.
Have you guys ever met before?
The only time I've been around one, the guy couldn't get it started.
Oh no, mine started like first flip. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're starting by hand, the Pico is way easier to start than the 4 or the or any of the European ones.
Okay.
It's a shame they had that little weak crank in them. That's but Doug had the fix for it. So I never, and like I said, I never ran one after I had it modified. So with that sleeve, but I'm sure it runs good. Doug really knows what he's doing.
Chad Hill sent him like 5 LA 25s. This was
right.
Probably 10 years ago. That's what Chad runs on his speed limit planes, and he sent those off to Doug and got them all balanced and polished and duded up. Chad has probably some of the best running LA 25s I've ever seen, man.
The best.
I don't know what magic Doug worked on them, but they're badass.
Yeah, they're in stock form. They'll LA 25s. You'll pull your hair out with them, especially if you got the ones made in China, because the piston and liners, the either the material or the fit, whatever they do, they overheat. They overheat. They seize up on you. I put like stock stunt fuel in one when I first got trying to get it to go, and set it really rich. Pitch in the bladder, throw it up in the air, goes around 3 or 4 laps, starts to come on, runs perfect, then it overheats, sags, and shuts off, and you still got half the bladder in the plane.
I've had good luck with them. I mean, I run bone stock.
Yeah.
25s that I get at RC swap meets. I pick them up for $20, and throw them on there. And I've got a few good runners. I do have a couple that are cantankerous. Probably
right.
Of the 8 that I own, I think 6 of them run pretty decently most of the time, and then 2 of them give me fits once in a while.
The only when they wear out, when they don't hold compression, that's when they run, but they don't hot start worth the shit.
Yeah.
The cure is the Brian Gardner piston and liner. I had to make some. I put them in. Then the engines are bulletproof and start first flip, and you run. You set it at peak. Just like you're setting your Nelson. You just set it high RPM. Just off peak and let it go. Just how you set it like that. And
I got some of the Brian Gardner LA 46 sets. I bought 2 sets.
Right. Well, those are great.
I ordered from OS Japan. I got 2 46 cases, cranks, and all the other parts to assemble 2 stunt engines. So, haven't run them yet. That's a winter project.
Yeah, I just bought junkers off of eBay, and then I'm cleaning them up and putting the Gardner kit in it.
Have you ever ordered from OS Japan?
No.
Anybody?
No.
Dude, I got cases for like $13, $14 a piece.
Really?
It's dirt cheap. OS parts, man. I'm telling you. Whoever's selling them on eBay and, you know, Towers prices or whatever, I think cases are like $35 or something like that, maybe even $40 for a 46 case. I paid less than $15 a piece on OS Japan for new cases. The cases are less than half of what you can pay from Tower. Now, it takes 5 weeks to get your shit because it's coming from Japan and it comes over on a boat. But if you're not in a hurry for OS parts, if you need heads, cranks, cases, they're definitely worth a look. The way the website works is you get an account, you put in your order, and then they send you an email back telling you the amount with the shipping, and then you confirm it, and you can use PayPal. The shipping was only like $15 for my order. And I mean, I bought everything to build 2 LA-46s minus the piston liner and the heads, and it ended up costing me about $85.
I did the same thing. I just ordered some. One thing I couldn't get was darn wrist pins.
They didn't have them.
Yeah, I got to get them from Tower, and they're like mid-October or something.
For which engine?
The LA-25.
For the 20. Well, that's probably because I bought 6 of them when I was in there.
I could get everything else because I got the pistons and liners already.
Yeah,
I just need.
They
but
were probably half of what you pay, right? They were less than $50 a piece.
Basically, 2 engines for $90.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Which one? What do you need a wrist pin for? What, an LA-25?
Yeah, like the Gardner sets don't come with a wrist pin and the connecting rod, right?
And you need the little, the little pads, yeah.
The nylon or whatever.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Teflon bushings, yeah.
So that's the stuff you need. Like, and I saw the Tower has them back ordered.
Right.
Say mid-October or something.
Right. And you can get them online on eBay, but I mean, what are they? They're like $12, aren't they?
I didn't look on eBay yet for that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I figured I'd get stuff here and see what I needed, you know?
Yeah.
Everything
Everything on Japan is like half price, less than half of what you would pay. It's a great. Like, I may go in there and just put together a wish list and get a bunch of parts while you still can, you know.
They're all discontinued, aren't they? A whole lot of discontinued.
Yes.
I bought a whole bunch of rods.
Yeah.
And pins because
that's why Tower's out.
Yeah. Cases. That's because you know, Jim and I are running these in combat, and you know, you need parts. You know, stuff goes out. But you need you're putting one together, Tom? What do you need a?
Yeah, I'm going to put one of the Gardner piston aligners in. I have a brand new LA,
right,
for my speed limit plane. I want to fly speed limit at our contest on the 9th. You know, let everybody break me in again, and you know, just play follow leader, and I'll just be, you know, learning. But
you know, you need a pen. You need a wrist pin.
But not to make this one because I'll just take the stock one out. But when I build these other 2 motors that I just want to dedicate to speed limit, then I'll need wrist pins and connecting rods because I'm building them from scratch. You know?
Right. Okay.
I have them. I have them on my wish list from Tower, so I actually them. So when they come in, they're gonna send them to me, then charge me for them.
Man, those things are going to be order pending, just like Super Tiger needle valves have been on Tower for 10 years, man.
Yeah.
Those G51 and G34 needle valves.
Yeah.
Order pending for over 10 years.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, what's up?
Hey, man. Cool, Max.
Hey,
Otto.
Oh, it's Max. Max is in here today.
Oh, that's Mac. I'm sorry.
Oh, he's just got to grab his plane, but he's been flying some combat models along with his brother. I've been flying them at the slow 35 size combat models, and they've been enjoying that.
Good.
Did you guys hear? Oh, go ahead, Joe.
Oh, he's working on this, but he wanted to paint it with a brush. So he's going to have to give it a few coats, and it's going to put on a bit of weight.
It
But
sounds like Watt Moore. He paints them with a brush.
yeah,
Well, a
some-
heavy model's a sturdy model, right?
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
What engine he's gonna put on that?
Oh, he's
Let me click on that so it'll get big. There we go.
yeah. We're going to use a Thunder Tiger 25. Which
Okay.
is the full-raced one.
That looks
Yeah.
like it'll fly.
Yeah, it's just a rough stunt trainer. His brother's got one just like it, basically. And it's got like a Fifth Revolution combat wing underneath it, so they're very rugged. But his brother's one's done a lot of flying. You were flying your brother's on the weekend too, weren't you? But we got in a big mix-up. What happened? Can you tell them what we did?
Dad was going the other way and I was going the other way. So basically, you know what happened? We lost the plane and went this way.
Yeah, you were doing a wing over and Dad was doing a lazy eight with the same handle. Yeah.
You guys were flying combat together?
No, we were sharing the one model. We were just doing some maneuvers together, but we decided to do different maneuvers at the same time. So we dinged the model, but I'm hoping to get them both flying in
So
combat together.
you had your hand over his handle, over.
Yeah. Except we hadn't planned what we were going to do thoroughly enough. You want to grab the other model that you were flying?
Did you guys hear that guy that makes the Merlin glow plugs passed away, Kelly?
Oh, no.
No.
Yeah.
Makes the what glow?
Merlin glow plugs.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he passed away. You go on the website, you'll see that you can't do any orders now. You know?
That's terrible. That's my brand too for the half A.
Well, that's a lot of guys are using. I bought some. I never tried them. He used to make. He made copies of the Nelson plug too.
Yeah.
But you could use a glow driver on them.
That's right. That's the ones I use. They're little drop-ins with the head clamp. Oh no,
Yeah.
Nelson's screw into the head, don't they?
The Nelson plugs are screwed in, but they take like a 1/4-inch drive.
Yeah, and your pocket glow clip won't go over the thing.
Right, but Merlin makes one that's just the same, has the same top as a standard, glow plug. You use your regular glow driver, you twist on. So, so that was another source. But I hope they keep on making them. A lot of guys recommend. I never tried it for stunt. I used the SIG plug, but a lot of guys use them for stunt also.
The ones I use are those drop-ins like on the Norvells and Coxes. You can use it on a Cox, but yeah. In fact,
I know what you're talking about.
On a new Norvell, I always start it with a Cox head on it because it's easier to crank.
Well, I guess it's a good thing Mike Stinson gave Sam a box of Norvell parts, man. He gives 2 engines and Christ, there must be 30 glow plugs in there for Norvell.
Those Norvell engines are amazing. They're great.
Yeah.
They're good runners.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Norvells, I got a question. I've got 2 of them that will crank up and launch and fly about 7 or 8 laps, maybe 10, and then all of a sudden gradually starts slowing until it grinds to a stop and then restarts a real bitch. I've heard a couple of things about what's probably wrong. One is that the crankshaft has got aluminum embedded in it, surface somehow, and is seizing as it gets hot. The other is that the nose is doing about exactly the same thing against the back plate. Any ideas on that?
No, if it's a brand new ones, well, they're really tight to break in at first.
These
tight.
These have hundreds of flights on them.
Uh-oh. Where'd he go?
Lost Al.
We lost.
Lost Al. He must have fell out the sky.
You ever had that happen, Mike or Tom? Or
No,
Jeff?
I never ran.
I have not.
Well, I'm gonna chuck that crankshaft, one of those crankshafts, in the drill press and put some fine sandpaper on it with oil and see if I can maybe clean it down, clean it up. If that doesn't work, I'll mill a little bit. I guess I could mill a little bit off the back of the drive plate if it was the nose.
Yeah, it sounds like something's worn or bent to do that. Doesn't sound right.
It runs perfect until suddenly at 7 or 8 laps, it just slows and slows and slows and then seizes up. I assume it's seizing. I could be wrong.
Nothing's cracked. Another thing, I've had that before when they slow up and then you find that there is a hairline crack causing binding.
A hairline crack where? In the crank tube?
Yeah, I've had that happen before. There's a crank, like in the crank web, crack in the crank, one of the cutouts for the intake. Or,
yeah.
But yeah, it just sounds like it could be something mechanical. If it, as it gets hot, it's seizing up like that. See if there are any polished marks on it too. That's another.
I don't think. Oh, you're talking about a crack that would cause an air leak.
Yeah, well, if I've heard that where you've got hairline cracks in the case or in the crank, then you'll get a leak or you'll get binding. If you see
binding. Okay, yeah.
If you see any polished marks on a part of the crank, that can indicate that there's binding or bent.
I'll take a look. I got one of them already taken apart and then bagged up just for whenever I get around to it. So maybe I'll take a close look at that. Because I miss that engine. I got 2 planes I fly them on. One of my baby flight streaks has a Norvell. It's a 061. And what, I had one on something else. I don't remember now. I got an AME on that little Combat Gladiator. That's a good running engine. It runs a shitload faster than the Big MiG does. It seems like it. I don't remember on attack now.
Well, apart from me and my brother doing half-A combats, nobody does half-A combat here. They just do a speed limit combat, which is 80 mile an hour speed limit, and LSPAC. But I've been using
there's Al.
Yeah.
We lost you.
Guys, I'm gonna peel out of here, man.
Okay, Mike. Thanks for coming in.
Got a volunteer at school, and I got into helping out in the classroom.
Okay.
Morning.
You get to teach them something good.
All right, guys. I'll see you.
Take care.
All right.
Yeah, see you later.
What I'm saying is the crank is tight in the case. That's what with the Norvells.
You think I need to chuck it in a drill press and put some sandpaper on it?
Well, you could polish. You could try polishing the crank a little bit with like
1,000
600 sandpaper. You know, just
600.
Yeah, you know, put it, chuck it up and shit up.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
You know.
What about, should I put a little bit of water on it or oil? Should I use?
I just do it dry. Use the wet and dry paper.
Yeah.
But when you're done with that, wash off in water real good.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
dishwashing detergent.
Yeah, in the same. Yeah.
Get it out of there.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about my other
I did a couple like that.
You locked up.
Which ones?
We're losing.
What's the other theory?
Yeah, we're losing.
Boy.
You were locked up there. Can you hear me, Al?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't catch any of that last thing you said.
So I know what was your other problem?
That the nose was growing, and I guess maybe jamming against the back of the drive plate. I could probably shave the back of the drive plate to fix that.
Yeah, I don't think so. Don't they have a thrust washer on them?
Yeah.
I mean, if you have the thrust washer,
Yeah,
that's
right. I could take it out and try it, or
no, don't take it out. Leave it the way it is. If you do that, then the pin will hit the back plate.
Yeah.
oh,
You know, especially if you put a starter on it.
yeah,
No, that's fine. I never heard of that problem. I
okay.
heard of when guys run them, and then if you feel the case, getting hot,
It was hot. Yeah,
yeah, then that's the problem.
okay.
But the other thing with the Norvels too, they're a little hard to break in. They're real tight pinch.
I remember. I've broken in a couple of new ones, and like I said, I put Cox heads on them to get them cranked the first time, and then run them high low, high low, high low. Just I lean it out at first, and then back it down rich, and lean it out without waiting too long in between. Because I've heard they like to be busting ass screaming at first to get that pinch and all set right.
Well, when I get a good when I want a good racing engine, or when I'm dealing with like good engines, like brand new engines that have a tight pinch, and
Yeah.
like one of my racing engines, or
I won't even turn it through the top until it's run.
where you don't pull it through. What you do is, take out the glow plug and you put some oil in it, and then you take a heat gun, and get it ready for like you're going to start it.
Yeah.
And warm it up to like 200 degrees, get it nice and hot, and then start it up that way.
I actually do that on a how-to video about cranking Norvell engines in my YouTube channel.
Yep. So that's, and then after I run it a couple times that way, I take the head off, and then I take a Q-tip with air to oil, and I clean all the black stuff all around the cylinder, and get all that stuff off. And then
I did not do that. Okay.
The aluminum that wears off, and then go ahead and then start it, break it in again. If I'm going after a real, like a real fast engine, real nice braking, that's what I do.
Yeah, that sounds close to what I do, so that's good.
And then I take the case off, and after the first run, I take the back plate off, and with air to oil, I swab all the black stuff, all you can, out of the case, all over, around the crank, clean it all up real good, and then put it back together again, and it works.
Yeah, I've got a how-to pictorial on rcgroups.com that shows how to retrofit one with a Cox 128 TPI needle valve. I ought to make a slideshow and put that on YouTube.
Well, we use them, when we flew a lot of half-A combat, those were, we let you use a plain bearing Norvell 061, and they kept up pretty good with the high performance half-A engines.
My AMA 061 that I've got on the Gladiators are really nice flying. I think it turns 30,000 or better.
Do you know the difference between the Norvell Big MiG and the AM? Was it the AME or the AMA, whatever, which one? The
AME is what I call it. Well, pretty much the AMA is designed to just run on pressure. It won't run on suction. So,
but there's a difference in the liners. Let me show you. If I could find them.
I'll have to rewatch a bit with Samantha, and I couldn't get on. I think it was when we got to about 9 people, then it all started going funny. And
that's too many, especially when I think sometimes people don't realize when they make noise in the background how much it breaks up everybody else, because we don't have full duplex capability on our audio. Now I was about to say something brilliant about Norvell. Now I've forgotten what it was.
Sorry, I stuffed you up there. You're talking about the difference of running on pressure and not on pressure with AME and Norvell.
Yeah, that's right. As a matter of fact, I run my big MIGs every half A engine I got. I run on bladder pressure. Every half A rotary valve engine, and I've even run reed valve engine on a bladder before. Actually, it works. People don't believe it, but I won the reed speed race on Cox Engine forums with a bladder fed Killer B.
Okay. So where's the camera? This is a big MIG.
Yeah, I recognize the porting.
Okay, you see the two little ports there, the intake?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the big MIG. And then, let's see.
AME's got 3, doesn't it?
There goes the piston. Yeah. Let me see. And there, let me see. That's the AMA.
Yeah.
You see that it has big intake.
Right. Yeah.
That's. Let me see which is the. So this. I can't find the camera. There it is. That's the exhaust. That's the snarly side, and then that's the boost in the back. That's the high performance. Right, and then again, now I'll show you the big MIG. Where did the camera go?
Oh, right there.
Yeah. Okay, that's the exhaust. That's the intake on the side. You see the other one has a big rectangle.
Yeah.
And then that's the boost in the back. So it has way bigger intake porting.
Yeah.
So that's a big MIG. So
it's amazing how fuel efficient they are for the same amount of fuel as you'd put in a TD-049. You can fly a minute longer at least with a big MIG, or I guess probably the AME too.
Well, the AMA is more of a fuel hog.
Yeah. What was it?
But we took that needle valve assembly off them, and put a spray bar through the middle of it, through that bathtub.
Yeah, and you don't put the Venturi back on top.
No, we just want a bladder.
I usually do, because I tend to put them in the ground once in a while, and I like that screen on it. I know that robs power, but prolongs the engine life. I always sport flew these, and that's the same thing I've seen. That's good.
Yeah,
and
see,
you got the hole pointed almost into the wind. Let's see.
You see that's set up for half A combat.
Yeah.
That's
a huge
rocket backwards a little bit, so I'm looking at it almost nose on. I thought I saw the hole in the spray bar.
Oh,
props in the way now. So yeah, you got that hole point. Is that 2 holes or 1 hole in that spray bar?
No, it's just I don't see the hole. I had the hole facing. I was just fooling around.
Oh, okay. So that's not your normal.
On the bladder, I had it. Believe it or not, I had it running like that. But because I actually got a Dremel, and I opened up the intake more to get more power out of it.
Yeah.
But it's it runs like that. I was just experimenting to see where, how the engine would run with that spray bar out there, but I ran it on a bladder, so it wasn't, it's not running on suction. So
I ran all mine on bladders. But I've used the Venturis. I just sleeve the Cox spray bar from the fine thread.
See, that's the Nelson.
That's a Nelson. Yeah.
It takes that 1/4-inch drive, and then the Kelly plugs are take the nut driver. I could Yeah, I could show you those.
Dick Snavely was asking what sort of plugs they run.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm on the ones I use. I have the clamp ring, and you just put no threads on it. It's just a drop-in insert glow plug, and then the clamp ring screws down over that. And your pocket glow igniter will fit that too. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep. Yeah, like a bit like a head button, but it's a glow plug button.
Merlin makes those.
Mm.
Yeah, these are, I don't know.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, this is like the that's the Merlin plug, like the Nelson plug that takes a glow driver.
Yeah,
It looks like it goes size. Yeah.
Is that the same thing as what they call a turbo plug?
No, well, a Nelson plug is something like a turbo plug, but
It's not the same shape exactly, is it?
it's skinnier. A turbo plug is like the same diameter as a regular, the regular glow plugs, but
Yeah, Nelson's
Nelson's fatter. They both don't use any gaskets. Like the Nelson came out before the turbo plug. The turbo plug sort of a copy of the Nelson plug.
Yeah.
But
Like the taper seat spark plug ones that I used to since the 70s.
But I bought all these plugs when he first opened up his company, and I never really tried them yet. But that's a shame,
So what's going to happen with Merlin? Is somebody going to take over the production of the Merlin plugs, or too early to know?
I don't know, but we don't know. But if you could see, these are weird.
Just out of interest, Al, what other motors do you use for slow combat besides the FPLA 25s? What other ones are you using, like for suction as a slow combat motor?
I don't use I hate suction. For combat. I always use a bladder. To get it to run on a tank. It's really hard, inconsistent, and you go into maneuvers and stuff. It's real hard to get a needle, especially with tank pressure and all that stuff. It's just a nightmare. And then it back feeds through the back plate. You got to put a restrictor in. It's all kinds of problems with tank pressure, crankcase pressure.
Yeah.
But I'm so used to bladders. It's so easy. Once you learn it, it's easy, and the performance is, it's second to none.
Once you
really
go
good.
bladder, you'll never go back.
Yeah, it's second. The bladder or the pacifiers. Once you learn how to do it and you get your sequence down, it's it's really consistent and repeatable.
I've got the gear. I've got the tubing gear and stuff to do bladders, but I've always used muffler pressure. So I've always used like a piece pipe and muffler pressure. Sometimes I'll increase the outlet size on the muffler pressure, but I know you need running suction entirely is very hard. You normally have that lean sag after launch, and if you go into wild maneuvers, you run out of fuel. So muffler pressure is help, but I know bladder pressure would, or surgical tubing, any of that would offer a more steady fuel feed. But I like the convenience of just running without the syringes and fuel flying when somebody crashes.
Man, I put on my half A's that don't have the bladder compartment enclosed, I just put them in a little mesh bag that's secured against the fuselage on the wing, and I put a one-way valve butt plug in the thing and just walk up to it with the syringe and go boom, and it's full of gas. And then do it with, I got plastic hemostats, just leave them on the feed line the whole time, and then she's ready to go.
Now, I either use, in my stunt engines or my sport flying engines, I use Uniflow, and and I finally learned how to make that work pretty good. But when I'm going fast, I mean, some of our, we have like our racing engines and stuff. Like we have events that you're not allowed to use pressure. You use tank pressure, suction, and I use Uniflow. And it's just positioning of the Uniflow, vent in the tank is critical, to what size of Venturi you're running, in racing, so it's just like when in Stunt, it's critical where you position that Uniflow for your level, upright versus inverted,
Right.
you can play with the tank that way, but Charles, what are you trying to do? Sport fly, or are you going to fly combat with it? What do you want to do?
Well, I've just been trying to. I used to fly combat in the past. I did a lot more stunt flying in the past, but I'm thinking mainly for my two boys to get them practicing with some combat models. And I don't like using bladder pressure, but like Rusty says, it's not that hard if you just get used to it. And what I did in the past was simple systems like even on my little 049 here, I used an inboard tank which helped the fuel feed. And then I took the muffler pressure off the little 049, so it's got a little muffler ring on the 049. But
that's a bladder, actually. That's a broken bladder that we're
Stuff
but
I
anyway.
got. Ken Cook gave me a bunch of that stuff and some black to it too.
But I put these, that's a cotter pin that I welded up. I cut them one day at work. I was, but I keep this on the plane at all times. So if the plane crashes or you're just sitting around, if you have wasting a lot of time, or some guys use line clips, you just slide it on like that, and that that shuts shuts it off.
Yeah.
And then of course, then you have to get one of these, also, and I always like using the Dubro silicone fuel tubing because you can pinch it easy. Some guys use the neoprene, and the neoprene is you can't hold that no more. I can't hold it no more than 20 seconds. But this I could hold for a minute, like when you're doing counting down. But the problem with this stuff is, if you put it on like a Nelson spray bar, it likes to fly off. So what I do,
I take a piece of copper wire and wrap it around the nipple.
no, I don't do that. I use. This is what you're going to have to do too, Rusty, on your Super Satan.
Yeah.
You're going to have to use the neoprene on the needle valve.
Yeah.
Then you get a break point, like just like a 1-inch piece of brass tubing.
Yeah.
Right, and that's where you break it off, and that's where you fill your bladder, your pacifier. That's where you fill your pacifier. So and then when you put it, like I don't know if you guys can see that, can you?
It's clear as a bell.
So that's where I break it. That's where I fill it, and you connect it there, and it there. Get out of there.
You don't have a filter on yours?
No, you don't. You're not a filter, but you see that's the neoprene on the spray bar, and then put that on the brass tubing an inch, then use the silicone, and then it goes right into the pacifier.
Yeah.
And then this way,
look at that pacifier. Is that one of the pacifier? I said, let me get a close look at that pacifier. Is that one of the ones? Is that one of the ones that's got that funny flat spot on it, like a?
No.
When my child was little, they had really weird shaped bulbs.
Yeah, they work though. I used them. They work too, but we used the Gerbers. The Gerbers work really well.
Okay.
Here they are, Rusty. I I gave you the number.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I gave you the number of them.
You did.
At Walmart.
I'm gonna make you laugh, Tom.
Okay.
Oh, and Gerald, the other thing you could do is, a little simpler. I know Al doesn't like running crankcase pressure, but that works too.
Yeah, I've done that.
I've never tried except on an MP Jet one time.
Yeah, I've had good luck. I had a Voodoo running on it. I had no problems with it, and my Killer I run a crankcase pressure.
Look at that.
Oh my God, how many did you buy?
Yeah.
I'm all set for my grandchildren, right?
Yeah.
I figure if I don't use them, my when I get grandchildren, they can use them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But this is the one I used to fly. Oh,
They come in a 2-pack. Yeah.
And it's like $2.79 for the pack. It's like, you know.
Yeah. But do you know how to get how do you get, it's a real pain to get that ring out of there. I found a way to do it easily.
I have a technique, but we'll send Rusty a few down that are already taken off.
Or you can send me a couple with the ring on it, and I'll figure out how to do it. So I can get them at the grocery store. They got them at the grocery store, don't they?
Walmart. There's I think they're like a Walmart only item. That's the only place I've seen them.
I bought them off of Amazon.
Did you? Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Now, when I was a kid, I used the pacifiers, but I don't remember the difference between the pacifiers and the bladders of today. What's the difference? As far as the inch run.
I use latex surgical tube for my half-A bladders.
The pressure is different, and plus on the old vintage planes, the compartment that we use is basically round inside.
Okay.
For like it's like for a 2 3/8 ball, like the Super. Right. That whole pod that you see, that fuel pod on there, inside that's a 2 3/8 ball would be fitting in there.
Okay.
So the pacifier blows up like a ball, where bladders, you know,
mine looks like a bratwurst when it grows.
The bladder's like a sausage.
Yeah,
but the ones I use get longer and longer and longer, but don't get any bigger around.
Yeah, they won't work in the old pods. The old fuel pods.
Right.
I've got the gear, but the reluctance to use it. That's my problem.
and the Super Satan wing is so thin that this bladder that Al has in his hand blows up thicker than the wing.
Yeah.
Right. Now, and then if you're running half-A, they got now that's the half-A bladder. This actually is for fast. This is the fast combat. The yellow is the fast combat.
That's what Ken Cook sent me, is that yellow stuff.
Right. Now they have another version of this yellow stuff that's thinner, that's less pressure. And, we use that in speed limit combat. If you haven't run trouble, the stock LAs, they're really fussy. So you have to use less pressure on them. But yeah, you make that up and you blow it up. It looks like a sausage, and it's in the container. Where the bladders, where the pacifiers blow up like a tennis ball.
Yeah. How many ounces is the full fuel load on the Super Satan?
You can get 4 ounces in there.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you don't need. I mean, I never go over 3.5. I usually had enough.
I guarantee you, I'm gonna short tank it when I fly it.
Good idea.
By the time you get the needle set, you run out there and it's empty. And especially when I have mine set up for, all out speed, you wouldn't believe the amount of fuel that it uses. I mean, it looks, I can't believe the stream of fuel that, like, when the engine's not running and it just pours out the intake. It's like you're squirting it out the syringe without anything on it. It's a pretty heavy stream of fuel.
Yeah.
Especially when you're using high nitro, you use more fuel with the more nitro you use. For some, you have to open up the needle a lot more.
Yeah, because it's bringing its own air with it.
Actually, when I was trying to do, with the Super Saiyans, when we were trying to break 120, and I was using those pipette bibs or whatever, and they didn't slow. I blew an engine. I won that trophy that I'm glad I gave it. Tom won it.
Yeah, I still have it.
For blowing up the engine, but I blew the engine up because it went over lean. It wasn't feeding enough of fuel, and I blew my engine that one year, and I found out that it wasn't. It was these I wasn't using the Gerber pacifiers. I was using those pipette bulbs, and they didn't, they don't supply the same pressure. The amount of fuel that I need to run 50 nitro. You can get away with it with 10%, but when you're running 50, you need more fuel.
When I first started flying combat, I was using like a G15s and the KMB-21s on crankcase pressure. And I was flying models like the Spectra. This was back in the 80s. And we brought in muffler laws here, so I put the little exhaust stack mufflers on, ran them on muffler pressure using the muffler pressure setup. And then when people started going to pacifiers, I went diesel, and I was flying models like these here with the diesel, but the diesel is just difficult.
Yeah, crankcase pressure. I mean, you got that's really, really, it's really fussy. Yeah, I mean, if the engine gets flooded, especially on an upright engine, and then it's, to unflood it, you got to block off the crankcase pressure and the fuel feed, and it's just
yeah. I've never tried to run crankcase pressure except for on an MP Jet 061. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that. It's a Czechoslovakian engine, but I never could get the damn thing cranked. I just kept flooding it, and I'm not sure I had the lines running the right way either. I had never plumbed one, and so I might have had it plumbed wrong too.
Well, the trick is what I learned. That one-way valve you're talking about?
Yeah.
You put that on the back of the crankcase pressure, so it'll let the pressure out, but it won't let the fuel back in through the case. So use that one-way valve on there if you ever try to do it again.
Yeah. That's what was happening.
But it's you have to have the needle set, but to start it without any kind, or some guys put a little restrictor in the line back there. But they put that restrictor for the landing gear. I think it's Roberts makes it.
Roberts makes it.
Yeah, it's like a little. It looks like a little seed, and has a little 3/1000 hole in it, and it lets the air out, but not the fuel in. That's something to do too. But you have to have everything set right to get it to run, without any restrictor in there.
I'm glad to know that it was just my lack of knowledge and not something stupid I was doing, or hopefully. So.
No, it's
Hey guys, I'm gonna take off. It was nice seeing you guys.
Okay.
And,
okay, Carl. Good night, bud.
Yeah. I got 2 planes that run well. The Voodoo's pretty much done, but 2 planes I was running on crankcase pressure, and I had pretty good luck with it. My killer runs on it, Al.
Oh, you have a restrictor, or you're not running it?
No, I use the soldering in the pressure line on the tank with the pin. You solder a pin into the tank, into the intake, and then you pull the pin out, and it makes just a tiny little hole in it, and that's kind of your pressure regulator. And I learned that from my father when I was a little kid.
Well, that's a restrictor. Yeah,
because fuel's thicker than air, so.
Yeah, but you put that in your pressure line. Then you're telling me.
Yes.
So that's you're using
the pressure line going into the tank.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. If you don't do that, it's a nightmare.
It's wild. Yeah.
Right. That's what I meant by putting a restrictor in. But it's.
I'll be back in just a second.
Yeah, a lot of guys have a lot of trouble with. With that, I mean, I had trouble with it when Jim had that his double diamond upright, and he had it on tank pressure, crankcase pressure. That was, we got it to go, but man, it's a bladder is so much easier.
Yeah. So are you around Sunday?
This Sunday, yeah.
Oh, because Tom and I were talking about like taking over Circle Runners Field and going up and getting at the junk and ripping up the sky a little bit.
Oh yeah, up there or in Middlesex.
Well, Middlesex, they've been playing football there on Sunday, so I doubt we'd be able to get the grass. So
okay,
we go up to Circle Burners and grab a circle and get everything ready for the combat day. So I figured I would test fly the Super Satan, and then I put Rusty's engine on it,
Right.
and see what we can get out of it. You know, see if I got everything right. You know, I set the timing on the crank.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm trying to. I got the double diamond. I'm trying to get this thing over 120. Last year, like I said, I was having problems, but I shimmed ahead, and I want to try to get Jim's over 100, 120.
Yeah.
Tell me about what you did to the timing.
This is timed by, believe it or not, Larry Scarinzi's article in 1964, the Blitz article. And Al's the one who taught me how to do it, and Larry's the one who taught Al how to do it. So it's been passed on. Al knows a lot more about it than I do, but
Well, you're doing great. Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm getting I got 120 out of my motor, so
Yeah, you're there.
But yeah, you just basically change you make it close later, okay? Than the stock one does, and it opens earlier.
Okay, so
yeah, so
it
you
takes
do
a bigger go.
you take a flashlight and you shine it in the back of the motor, and when light breaks through, when you see light in the Venturi, that's when you know that's just when it's opening. And then when the light goes away, it's when it's closing. And you just keep filing the crank down till you get it. Like I made this big wheel. Let me see. It's here because I was just doing your motor last night. Like here, this mounts on the front of the motor. Can you see
Degree
that?
wheel. Yeah.
Degree wheel. And, we just go from there.
Oh, cool.
It's like tedious work, because you got to keep taking the motor, take it apart, put it back together. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So what he's doing is, in the direction the prop is running, so he's extending this. He's extending the hole here, grinding this, making it bigger, so it stays open longer. And then he's measuring it. He puts a degree wheel on the front of the front of the crank, and he's looking. He puts a flashlight through the intake hole. You shine the light, and as you're looking down the Venturi stack, you see when as it's turning, as it closes, and when you see it's closing, and you can't see the flashlight, the light goes out. You take the reading on the degree wheel, and then that's how you time the engine. So so what we're doing is we're making this stay open longer. And and there's a fine line between extra performance and then going too far.
And this is with the piston moving down, right? Yeah. Piston's moving down, forcing gas up the intakes, and it's
well, no, the pistons.
No, wait a minute.
The piston's going up.
Piston's going up. Yeah, that's when it's pulling air through. Got you. Okay.
The piston's going up, but
I had it backwards. Yeah.
But before he does that, he has to set. You have to set the degree wheel at top dead center. The piston all the way up, and you have to zero out your degree wheel.
Yeah.
With a line, with a wire and on the wheel, you have to find your zero mark.
Yeah.
And then you turn it in the direction, and you can see when it opens. You put the flashlight in the back, so when you're looking in through the Venturi hole, and you have the light in the crankshaft, you look in the Venturi, and you see when it opens. You take your reading, and then you keep on turning it until the light, the port closes. You don't see the light anymore. Take your reading. And then from there, you write your numbers down, and then you start, juggling your timing down to what you like. And that's in the Larry Scarinzi Blitz article. So it's it's all fun stuff.
If you want to make it open later, in other words, you put in JB Weld or something on the crank when you want it to open later. I know you can take material off to have it closed later, but how about when you want to make the crank open later, when you want your intake to open later?
Oh, well, no, open. I mean, On this one here, I did add JB Weld or Guy Silver solder. I don't know if you could see that one. You know, I closed it up a little bit because I went too far.
Yeah.
You know, but you really have to be careful you don't go too far. But this one, you could see I put, you see I have JB Weld ramp in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put a ramp so the fuel would flow. Actually, this is out of the engine that I was just telling you about that blew up. You see, and I open up the, you know, this is, I actually put a tungsten slug in here too for extra balancing.
Wow.
You know, yeah, but actually, this is the one that overheated and blew up, and it cracked the crank. It has a hair, it has a hairline crank back here by my finger. You know, I put a lot of work into this crank, and I almost wanted to cry when I saw it. You know,
the other day with this, I broke the crank on, so that one's got the broken crank. And
yeah.
And Rusty, you are right. When the crank is closing, the piston's going down. When the crank is opening, the piston's going up.
Going up, so it can pull air in. Yeah.
The motor right now, and we also polished the whole inside of the motor too.
Right.
So you get better fuel flow. So it's all polished. I'll show you my blown motor where I won the award.
That noise.
Where's that coming from?
I don't know.
I don't hear anything here. So that's what I did mine. That's why I won the award. I blew the motor. Actually,
Oh my God.
the plane, the leading edge of the plane kept the head on. Blew it right off.
That's pretty amazing.
And when I got this was the engine Al built for me. We got 120, and on my straight wing Satan, we got 120 on the nose, and I started stunting, and the plane got ahead of me, and I just plowed it straight in a hard ground. It was we hadn't had rain for like 2 months.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's like
the next time I ran it is when it blew apart.
Yeah.
It was on the yellow one, and it blew apart. I have a picture of it, and the only thing that held the head on is the leading edge because the motor sets back in the leading edge.
How far did it throw it when it blew off of there?
It couldn't because it blew into the leading edge of the plane. Like if you look at Super Satan, the engine's actually sunk back into the leading edge. That was Larry trying to get the mass, as tight as he could to the CG. So that's what held the head on. Otherwise, God, it wouldn't went across the field, I would think. That's it.
So these 36Xs, like this one with the matte finish, that wasn't the combat motor. That was like a general purpose motor with the insert in.
That's the needle bearing. That's the one that Rusty has. That's Rusty's motor. It'll still run. If you ever watched the Andre Ming's flight at our vintage combat meet, he's on one of the videos. He runs all needle bearings. He has them things running so sweet, it's unbelievable. You just can't load them up with nitro. They just can't take that many RPMs. That's all. Yeah. They still run just as well as long as they're worked right.
Yeah.
Now, where are the needle bearings in this thing? Is there just two set? Is there just one set in the?
One set right in here.
Okay.
Right in here.
Yeah.
Just where it goes into the crank goes into the case.
Yeah.
The plain bearing here, isn't it? It's a plain bronze bearing. And then
plain bearing there. It's got a little slot in it. Larry used to like to extend that slot. There's like a little cut in it, just so you get a little bit more oil in there. That was another thing Larry would like to do because when it get hot, they'll start galling the aluminum. But other than that, that's it.
Yeah.
So I keep I have like 3 or 4 BBs that, they're hard to come by. I have a couple of needle bearings that I part with. This one was, like I said, this one's it's got great compression. I'm really, this engine. This thing sounds great.
Man, I appreciate y'all going to all this trouble.
We want you to have the experience.
Yeah.
I almost put an ABC a Gardner piston aligner, and I said, no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I've pulled the Voodoo for this thing. I'm quite keen to try a proper vintage model with the 36 on it. I've got a lot of other models of my own and other more contemporary designs, but yeah, it'd be neat to build the Voodoo. I've got the plan there. I've got some of this formed leading edge now. I managed to source some of the leading edge, the 1-inch leading edge. So,
Voodoo's a great plane. It really is. It's much more stable than Super Satan. It does not turn anywhere near the Super Satan, but it's a great plane to fly. I mean, I loved my Voodoo, especially when you're just getting warmed up for the season. You want to fly something a little faster. The Voodoo's perfect.
It's a lot better with the extended booms, though.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, when Sparky was building, he built a bunch of them this summer, and he used all different boom lengths on them, I think.
Yeah, no, I warned him about it. He was building the short booms, and then I said, especially with the G21 Tigers, they're heavier. And I told him, you should extend the booms. And then he was making the pacifier pod too small. He was making it, he was only, the way he was making it, he was only going to get like, lucky if he gets 2 ounces in it, but he's a fast, he's a fast study,
Yeah, I mean, you told him about it during the show, and by the end of the show, he had completely redone it.
Yeah.
Picked it up, yeah, changed. So he mentioned what this was. Sparky did say what it was. It's got a Fox 36, the slant plug on it, but I can't remember what he called it. It's got an asymmetric.
Pick that up again, Gerald. That's the Sport. Let me see. Pick it up a little more.
A little bit higher. There you go.
Oh, no, I lost it. Hang on. Hold it there.
I can't see it.
Up higher. Up higher. Yeah, that's the Sport. That's the one that Frank has in his killer, but Frank has the one that Andre made, the special Sport. That's the later version. That's the 36 Sport, it's called. That was like early 70s.
Yeah.
It was actually developed for slow combat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But you changed the head on that.
Well, this one's a standard head. It's a standard slant plug head. I'm running a couple of them on combat models, and I've got the piece because we've got to have a muffler.
That head didn't come on that engine, did it?
No, that's the standard head. I've got 2 like that. I think I've got a third one here as well.
I think he has the same. I think he has an Andre motor on there. Is that intake cut back?
Oh, that's a custom intake that I made.
Oh, you made that? Okay.
Because it was an RC one. I've got a control on it.
The RC motor. Okay.
Yeah, you can see there's another one of the RC ones. I just made up the custom intake.
Oh,
yeah, well, that one has a different head on it, though. Let me see. Bring that one back up. That has the right head on it. The one in your hand. That has a different head. Because he has the 36X head on.
Yeah.
See, the one on the left is let's see the side of the head. Right.
Yeah, that's a 36 head on the
So you got that has the high performance head on it, the one on the combat plane, and the other one has the stunt head on it. That's a different head.
Yeah.
So somebody changed that head. You changed that head.
Yeah.
That head came off a 36X or a 35X.
Yeah, I've got some 36Xs in parts.
No, that had to come off a 36X because it's an angle plug. A 35X is a straight plug.
Yeah.
But that's the other one is the 36X sport motor or what they call it, Tom?
Yeah, it was the Sport.
Yeah, that's a sport motor.
Yeah, I've got the control on one here as well. But yeah, they've been a great motor. I quite like using them. They run much better than the Fox 35 Stunt.
Right. But you see the difference in the head? That one and the one on your combat plane?
Yep.
Somebody that head does not come with that engine. Somebody changed it.
Yeah. It runs nicely. It's a very nice running.
Yeah, no. They did that to soup it up. You get more performance out of it. And that was like a hot rod trick that guys did to it. They used the other parts on the Sport.
You don't have to recognize the model.
Hey, Tom, you know how to click on somebody to make their picture dominate the full screen?
I'm on Gerald right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't. Neither of you happen to recognize the model. Sparky mentioned the name of the model, but I couldn't place it. It's got a very asymmetric wing.
Right, that's one of those.
Like a Wombat or something?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Wombat? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's one of the European combat planes.
Oh, okay.
Got stitched hinges.
Yeah, yeah, it's got an old one. Yeah, it's got the stitched hinges.
I love
Got a-
stitched hinges.
Yeah,
I
it came with. They're not models I bought. They're old models. There's its little brother. I think this one's an Orchid, and it's got an OF20 on. It's a little one, and it's similar, but yeah, it's got the tiny little tail.
Yeah,
It's real.
they look like they have a lot of greased lightning influence to them, which is a fancy design.
Yeah, because we've got a mix of models here with different influences, the American influence and the English influence.
Yeah.
And ones like the one I flew as a youngster, the Spectre was designed locally, but it looks a lot like a Pink Panther. It looks like the English Pink Panther. But yeah, they're a fun model. I enjoyed flying combat when I was young, and I just think, yeah, my boys would enjoy it as well. A good way to learn them some flight experience. And yeah, the slow combat just seems a good way of doing it.
Oh, I think it's a great way to do it. Great way to learn. And I plan on practicing my stunt this winter with the slow combat plane. You know, my timing, I'll get, you know, I'll be flying faster. I think that'll help my stunt when I can't get a nice plane out because it's going to be too muddy and so forth. I'm going to practice all winter long with a combat plane. And
By slow combat, you're talking 75 miles an hour or something like that.
Like a speed limit plane, and it'll be a little bit faster than my stunt plane. But you know, work on my bottoms, you know, do all my pattern, and then when I go back to a stunt plane, I'm just going to feel like everything's in slow motion.
Yeah, once came over to stunt. His first day out, he was hitting beautiful square 4 or 5 foot bottoms. You know, so
it's no coincidence that good combat pilots make great stunt flyers. It's not a coincidence. You know, those guys. First of all, they happen usually a fast combat guy has a gift, you know, some kind of gift, like a baseball player hits a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Right.
They have an eye for it. And you know, Larry Scarinzi was telling me a story last Sunday when I was with them. You know, I had heard stories about, we used to have a club contest once a month in Union, and they would do limbo. And basically it was you would fly your plane as low as you could underneath the limbo bar. Okay. Larry flew a Super Satan at 120 miles an hour, inverted under a 12-inch pole.
Holy shit.
That's a guy. And I heard these stories, and like I said, you got to pick it. And he reminded me, he goes, yeah, I did it, Tom. I heard the prop hitting the grass. But you just think about what kind of eye he had.
How did he approach it, coming all the way around and under it? I mean, he didn't come like down and under it.
No, I heard he got down on the ground and did it.
Oh shit!
And got up that fast. That's the story I heard, and this was stories I heard not from him, you know, because you know, hearing it from him, maybe you wouldn't believe it because you say, you know, as you get older, you got greater, right?
He might embellish.
I heard legends when I was a little kid. I heard these stories, you know, and I always heard the legend of Larry Scarinzi. So. And then we got to see, you know, Al did and I did. We got to see him fly, and I mean, and still to this day, 2016, he took my Super Satan. It was just me, him, and my father at the New Year's Day event, and I said, Larry, you want to launch me? He said, yeah. I flip it. I started up. I said, you go out to the handle. He looked at me, and lit up. He ran out to the handle at 82 years old, and he just burned up the sky with a Fox 36X powered Super Satan and just lit it up. It was great. It was great to watch. I can't believe I didn't videotape it, you know, but it was just kind of a spur of the moment thing. I was setting the needle and I just looked at him. I said, let him fly it and let him go. And, you know, he had a grin ear to ear. It was.
Yeah, man. That's so cool. That's great.
Everybody enjoyed watching Larry fly, you know. And like I said, he was my childhood idol, you know, with the engines and the planes. And, you know, back when I was 14 and he was flying the Super Satans and he was doing all the development, you know, on the engines and on the planes. And, you know, I was like, you know, intense, you know, I was like, you know, like the kids today are with their new iPhone. I was looking at his Super Satan and his engines and his fuel and all that stuff. You know, his stuff, you know, like Larry Scarinzi's stuff was always way faster than everybody else's, and you know, and Tom's dad's too. Those guys were in a league of their own back then. You know, they were way ahead of everybody else. You know, their stuff was really fast. You know, other guys had sneakers and voodoos and all that stuff. You know, they were like around 108 or something like that. But you know, Larry's stuff and Tom's dads were like 120 plus. You know, they were really running good. You know.
Wow, that's great that you had people like that around when you were kids. I started playing with it about 12, but I never flew with another person until I was in my 50s, I think, other than taking my son out and him mashing it 3 laps later, but that kind of thing. But I didn't even know Stunt existed until 2013. So.
Yeah, well, I was the same with racing. I didn't really know Union wasn't a racing club, you know, when and in the 70s and the 60s. They did a carrier, stunt, and combat, and but when I joined Middlesex, this club was heavy into racing, and that's when we started to do clown racing and Foxburg racing and stuff, Fox race and stuff, and you know, and I loved all that stuff because it was all engine related, and I love engines, so
that's how I got started. If that plastic P-51 Mustang that I saw in the Western Auto Store didn't have a real gas engine like it said on the box, then I wouldn't have picked it up. I picked it up because that's what it had, and I was always an engine lover from way back.
Yeah.
It was a big attraction for me, the motor. Seeing one when I was a youngster, just thinking this thing is a motor and it's so tiny, and that really had me caught. You know, when I was probably younger than 10, and as soon as I could get my own motor, I remember my mother. I've told Rusty before, she got me a Cox Super Stunter, and we started it on the kitchen table, not really knowing how loud it was going to be. But yeah, but it has hooked. The smell of the nitro, just the sound, the feel.
But I could never get into the diesels. I just the diesels just never did it for me. I just don't the way they ran, the way they sound. I just I never enjoyed the diesels. I was always the glow engines. And the same thing in real life too. Diesels always. Every time I had a diesel, I had experience with a diesel, was always bad. I never had a good experience with a diesel.
Yeah, diesel cars and trucks don't warm my blood a bit. They just, no offense, I just somehow don't look at them the same. I like gasoline and other types of engines.
And then what was funny, like we were doing clown racing, they would limit us to 10% nitro and 20% oil fuel. But yet the diesel guys, their fuel was unlimited, and they were putting they put some kind of crazy additives in that diesel fuel to make them run really good, the team race guys and stuff. And
they had an advantage, huh?
Yeah, so so that's some of the guys were using that high tech fuel, and we were still beating them. We were still able to beat them, but and we were only using the standard, the standard 10 nitro. But
the diesels. I like using the diesels, but they're very hard. It's hard on the motor. They do compression very easily. They're working under so much more stress. But in the right application, like our John Deere tractor with its 4-litre turbo diesel, it's huge power for a 4-litre motor. You can imagine if it was a petrol motor, it wouldn't have that torque. And I think that's really, the best diesels are able to swing a bigger prop, and they've got a nice feel to them. But a lot of diesels that are fizzes, they don't feel that great. It's like an Oldsmobile 350 diesel is a terrible diesel, whereas you compare a Duramax diesel and it's amazing diesel. It's a lot of it's just the technology that's gone into it.
It's funny you brought up the Oldsmobile diesel, because I worked for Chevrolet, and they put the they made the diesel an Oldsmobile and put it in the cars, and everybody didn't, Oldsmobiles, they drove them easy, and they said, well, so GM said, oh, this is great. So let's throw the diesels in the Chevy truck. So the owner of our dealership, he sold, to the fleets, the diesel trucks. Well, every one of those diesel engines blew up in the Chevy trucks, in the fleet. They had to change them all. And at the same time, that was like maybe about 4 years, the people with the Oldsmobiles, they finally got miles on them, and they were blowing up too.
Yeah.
So then, then the owner gave me that thing as a shop truck. I was in the body shop and gave me that as a shop truck. Took my gas engine truck away from me and gave me that one of the blown up diesel ones that they fixed. And that thing, you always had to plug it in. It would never start. It was a nightmare. I hated it, but those Oldsmobile converted engines were horrible. They were, a real bad experience. And especially when they threw them in a Chevy truck, guys, they put 100,000 miles on a Chevy truck in 1 year, where the Oldsmobile cars, the guys only put 8,000 miles on them in a year. And they were all blowing up at the same time. Every mechanic, there was 10 mechanics in the dealer, and everyone had an engine to change. It was unbelievable. The warranty stuff that they were doing on the trucks.
Oh, we got the president of the Las Vegas Circle Burners on, Steve McBride. Do y'all know him?
He's a former Garden State Circle Burner, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's one of Dane Martin's flying buddies now, I guess.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I think it's his dad, Ruben.
Ruben, right? Yeah. So here's the Blown Fox Award that I won. And you know what? When I blew my motor, Larry goes, I've never seen one blow like that motor before.
Hold it up again.
Look at that motor on. Can you see that on the?
Now we can.
On the award. Okay, see that 36X is blown. Now look at mine. But Larry's never seen one blown just like that before. It's right on the award. It's identical.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely identical how they blew apart.
Yeah.
That's fun.
There's a picture, I think it's on the, I'm not sure which website I was looking at and whose picture, but it was a twin powered by two OS LA-15s. And it had hit the ground and it had torn both cylinders off exactly the same. But I think it was the little stack exhaust just happened to hit them at the same angle and tore the cylinders off at the same place. It was, here's an LA-15 here, and it tore it off across here on both motors, identical. It must just be a weakness.
Well, that's like if you look at the older 36Xs, they don't have the web in them. And that's why we're thinking, like Al and I were thinking, that's why they put the web in them, because guys were doing this to them.
Yeah.
And the web made it a little stronger here.
Yeah. The LA is a very light engine. I imagine that's why they're able to do it to these, because they're very lightly built.
Gerald, hold yours up one more time. I didn't get you clicked on in time. There we go.
It's just an LA-15, but I was just saying on that picture I saw on the internet, might have been the Northwest Flyers, whatever club, they had a picture of a twin where it had broken both in the same place on this twin. And they had a little stack exhaust on them, so I think the stack exhaust took them both off. It just gave it that bit of leverage to rip both cylinders off.
Yeah, well, the early BBs were polished, like the one Tom was showing.
Yeah,
they were polished, right? But then the later ones that had the web in it, they were just like the matte finish. I think they just started to. It was harder to tell if you had a 36X BB or a needle bearing.
Yeah.
I know Jim bought a couple off of eBay, and I thought they were needle bearings. I took it apart, and they were ball bearings. You got lucky.
Yeah, you see the 40 rat race version of them too, but that's got the raised head where the line is high, the stroke's high.
Yeah, I have two of those also. Yeah, and those have needle bearings. In the two needle bearings, one in the back of the crank and one in the front. They have two needle bearings in them.
Yeah, they're a neat looking engine.
Yeah.
They pull a lot of money now on eBay. I noticed they're quite collectible. always wished I managed to snap one up when they were cheap, but yeah, the people.
I have a brand new one. It still has all the gold.
Gold anodized, yeah.
A little sticker on it.
Yeah.
The neat little black sticker on the bypass. You very rarely see them that on them still. But yeah, they made some nice motors, Fox, over the years. But I suppose they're part of the history of combat and stunt flying. They're a big part of it. That's where it was a shame when Fox went out of business.
Do y'all know of a stunt ship called the Blue Angel?
Yeah, that was Larry's design in 19.
Yeah, that's what Steve McBride just said.
Yep.
Yeah, that's hanging in his basement.
Larry's planes look like the day they were built.
Yeah.
It's amazing how well preserved they stayed.
Did you ever go over to the museum up in Whippany?
No, I keep asking, and he says, "Yeah, I'll have you over." I was there when I was a little kid, but and it was planes all.
You got to get you got to get there. You got to make a point to go over there. It's it's unbelievable, and the amount of engines and planes he has. It's you just like walk down a little aisle, and he just has a pathway. They're hanging from the ceiling.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And then he has a garage with all kits and stuff. He has, he has so much stuff. It's like Brodak over there. And he has drawers and drawers. He has those what do you call it? Library filing cabinets or some kind of those little cubby, drawers that you pull out, like the square 6x6 drawers.
Yeah, like the index files.
Index card, yeah, you pull that out, and he has engines and parts and all that stuff. Tons of stuff. It's unbelievable.
Man, this has been a great show. Great
conversation. I'm gonna sign off. I'm getting the boss upstairs is texting me.
Getting restless, huh? Yeah, I hate to shut it off when there's good conversation going, and these guys over on the tube side are enjoying it too. We got a good crowd in here over there. But
I guess nobody can sleep tonight.
save some for Friday, and we'll do it all over again.
Yeah,
it took a while to hit our groove tonight, but when we hit it, we locked in good.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. I learned a lot from y'all, and so y'all are great. You bring a lot to the show, and I appreciate it. And it goes for you too.
Here comes my son that chased me. I think he's heading this way. Let me see. Where is he?
Hey, you guys on the tube over there. If y'all see that super chat $sign at the bottom, if y'all want to give us a little ching of walking around change.
Where is that? I can't find it. Where is that?
Oh, it's you see the YouTube chat box.
Yeah, I got the chat box open.
Yeah, down at the very bottom, there's a smiley face and there's a block $sign.
Right.
And okay, well that block $sign, that's the super chat. If you click that, you can throw us a coin.
Wait, I don't see the block $sign. I see a smiley face, and to the right is it says choose links.
Oh, that's the chat box for just us.
Oh yeah, you're in the video chat box. This is on the YouTube watch page. I pop it out and put it over next to my video screen. But if you see down at the bottom of the video screen a place where it says links.
Yeah.
So, okay, if you click that, it'll take you to the YouTube watch page, and that page has got a chat box on it. And then if you click the three dots at the top right of the chat box, there's a pop out selection. You can pop it out, resize it, and park it next to your video window that we're in. And but that's where that $sign thing is.
I saw it when on Sparky's was going live, at the Nats.
Yeah.
But I can't. I can't.
Have you gone to the YouTube page yet?
You got to go on a new tab, Al.
I got to go on a new tab.
Yeah.
down where you see where it says links, click on that, and then it'll open a new tab in your browser, and you can see us on YouTube. Just be sure and stop the feed so you don't echo back because it's not synced in time. It'll feed back.
So I have to go back to Stunthangar?
No, if you click where it says links at the bottom right of our video window, it'll open the YouTube watch page. I think, let me click on it and see what happens.
I'm freezing up now. Something's happened. I guess I must have hit something.
Yeah. Well, here, hang on. I'll post the link over there, and you can.
You did do it first in case I lose my chat box. But
y'all don't do anything. I'm gonna post the link.
Yeah, my screen is freezing.
In just a minute. Yeah. Well, hang on, and I'll get back to it. It is. Okay, I'm about to share it in just a second. I'll post it on our in-video chat box.
While you're doing that, Vintage Combat, September 23rd, Circle Burners Field. Is another Scarinzi design.
That looks really nice. It's got a white cord.
That's the article about where he talks about back then it was the 35X that
Right.
they were blown apart.
I don't know what's going on here, but I'm frozen.
Well, you're still talking.
Yeah.
That's a good sign. It's taking forever for this page to load for me.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I can hear you guys, but I can't. Everybody's frozen.
Well, if you mouse up to the top, turn your camera off, and turn it back on, and click save. Okay, now here's the link.
Everything's just nothing's working.
Oh, we see you fine now.
Really?
Yeah.
You're fine.
You're not choppy, nothing. It's
Wow,
good.
my computer's frozen. It's not PCitis. It's not doing anything.
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
Mine's acting awful weird too.
I find it's easy to do at the start of the show because I've got the YouTube link open, and then I can do the super chat or whatever first, and then
I am pasting the link now. Okay, now the link is in our video chat box, and that'll take you to the YouTube watch page where the text box on YouTube is, and that's at the bottom of that is where the dollar sign thing is.
Did you get that out?
My screen is totally everything's frozen.
Yeah, it came through. Yeah.
Well, we won't worry about it tonight.
Yeah.
But
wait, I got my screen back. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I see Stunthangar. There's the link. Let me see. Okay, now that's taking me back to YouTube. Okay. There's the link.
Yeah, how about stop that video feed because you don't need that to run.
That's taking me back to
hit the mute. That's the other thing.
It takes a minute for the chat box to finish popping up, but it'll be over on your right.
Oh, there's the dollar sign. Okay.
Yeah. I'm still hearing that weird noise. Sounds like a vacuum cleaner going on in the background or something.
Yeah, I'm hearing that too.
That can't be the fan of my computer, do you think?
Yeah. I bet that's what it is.
My laptop, because you just said it and the fan had just went off.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Need to set your computer on a ice
But
pack.
it must be where my mic is, maybe down on the bottom of the.
Yeah, odd place, yeah. But yeah, I use a separate camera mic after Rusty. You said to get one of these little Logitech ones, and that's been quite good ever since. It's improved the sound and video.
And does it have a built-in mic with it too, or no?
Yeah, it's a combination. It's a Logitech C270.
I
And
want to get one
a monitor.
because I like to put one up in the shop, so this way I'm putting around in the shop rather. I'm just sitting in front of the laptop. I'm not actually not doing any work.
It's a USB camera and mic. A Bluetooth or something might be, or a Wi-Fi. I don't know if Bluetooth would work or not, but
yeah, it works well because you can take it off and then move it around a bit if you've got somebody else in there, like when Otto or Max come in. But yeah, it's quite neat being able to position it.
Does Bluetooth have enough bandwidth to operate a combination mic and cam like that? Does anybody have any idea?
No
I
idea.
imagine. I don't think we're using up huge amounts of data doing what we're doing. But I imagine you'd be okay. I've got it wiggling wrong. But yeah, you learn a bit. That's another aspect of this show. You learn a little bit about the using the internet and using YouTube. And I've been posting more videos on my YouTube channel and learning how to edit them and make them more presentable. Everybody wants to watch my wife fly, though. They're not interested in watching me or my boys fly. They want to see my wife fly not shoestring, her sky ray. Yeah, you've got a shoestring as well, but yeah, she normally flies the sky ray. And I posted a video of her training my sister-in-law to fly as well, which is quite amusing. But, yeah, it's nice to see people getting something new out of it anyway. Well, I've got to go and do the dinner. That's my job now.
Well, let's sign off tonight.
Okay.
And y'all do something fun this week so we can come back and talk about it on Friday. I'll try to do something productive. Last Tuesday, I was planning on getting out in the shop and a couple of days during the week, and I was feeling so great on Tuesday that I decided I'd vacuum and wash clothes and do all that kind of shit. And I was like a blew two tires. I couldn't walk for the rest of the week. So damn thing done. So that's lame. But anyway, I'm gonna try again tomorrow and see if I can get out in the shop. I got to do the newsletter tomorrow too. Oh, I got your newsletter today, Gerald.
Oh, right, that's good. Yeah, it took me two days to do that. It may not look like much, but the old brain struggling with it.
I'm gonna hit that thing first thing in the morning. But anyway, we enjoyed it. Everybody, YouTube, you guys, and we'll see you again Friday night, I hope.
All righty. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.